You have outdone yourself, Jake.
Yeah,
That is
Jake.
absolutely amazing. It reminds me of there's this video game called Jet Set Radio, and they would show dancing silhouettes. Yeah, is that what you were going for? I love it.
Yeah, I was ripping off that, and I got a
Super
pal
bad.
named Madeline who what's the newer another anime-based game? Yes.
What was the
There's
software?
like 9
That's
trillion now.
The
weeb
software is
over the
a
world.
green screen and
Which I have.
pink suit jacket, right? Is that what?
Yeah, look, I bought that thing as a lark, and then I looked at how much money I make off YouTube and how much the suit cost, and I was like, I have to justify this or admit I'm an
Right.
irresponsible man.
Well, you did a good
And I
job.
can't
really
have
good.
that level of self-reflection, so let's
course.
make this thing work.
It's
Yeah.
really
It's
good.
so good. It is
Yeah.
so good.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Just real quick, Mike, thank you so much for being here. Everyone knows the
Oh,
Humanist
yes.
Report. This is such a treat for
Yeah.
us. We really
I
like
don't.
this.
Can you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Matt from the Humanist Report, Matt Binder. I also host shows called Scam Economy. I'm on Majority Report every Thursday. I host Doomed on my own channel and take calls. So yeah, Matt from the
Yeah, that
Humanist
was
Report.
interesting because last week we had Mike from the Leftist
Yeah.
Mafia on the show.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hate
So,
him. I hate
yeah,
him.
he's a total son of
Yeah.
a bitch.
I wasn't going to say
Yeah.
anything,
I
but
call him the F slur every single day. I just send
I
him a
mean,
message.
I
and
do that every
yell at
hour
him.
personally.
You need to.
It's like voodoo.
Okay.
If you've ever wondered,
Real.
ow.
I did want to let you know, though, Mike, that being a
Uh-huh.
guest on this show is like kind of like being a woodchuck in a petrified forest. You just got to keep busy and look for opportunity.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Also,
Oh, what?
we had some comments last week in the chat and afterward
Uh-oh.
across 5 channels. And I do read this stuff.
Is
I
my
don't have
channel
a-
included? Do you read my comments?
Yeah, there weren't any.
Yeah, we.
Yeah, no one cares
Check.
about me anymore.
I did check. But they apparently people are
Whoa.
expecting us on this show to reach conclusions on any given topic that may come up.
See.
And I
Good.
just thought
Ah.
maybe point of clarification, this is a free-form unscripted show.
Right.
And you should treat that exactly like a casual conversation between friends at a coffee shop or sitting around somebody's house or whatever. We're not here to impress anyone with our research or our well thought out takes. Although, I mean,
I am.
Well,
I'm
we
here
all
to-
do
They-
that
they
on our
happen.
own. I do
we
it
do
on
that
my
on our
own.
own respective channels and shows, and we take a lot of time to do that. So here's where we cut loose and unwind. That's kind
Can
of
you
a
give us an
benefit for
example
us,
of a
hopefully. Yeah, just there was one comment in the chat that was like, God, do some research. And I
That's
was
above
No
your
one's
pay
like,
grade.
what were we talking about at the
we
time?
were talking about like 10 different things at once, and I was like, on what research? But whatever. Probably Supreme Court. I don't know. I really don't know. It was just so fast. But I do have a question for the group to kick things off. Okay. I was going to act like I was being serious, kind of not, but I'm interested to know what you think. Are living humans already ghosts, just walking around in meat-coated skeletons? And if not, then how do you explain our normal waking state of consciousness, which is seemingly more dedicated to human impermanence rather than a more thoughtful and considered, less distracted existence?
Oh my
Are
god.
we already ghosts?
That's so thoughtful. Like I feel like I shouldn't be sober for this conversation right now. That's
No.
Please hold.
that's
Crack one
really
open.
thoughtful.
You shouldn't be sober. For
All right, if we're drinking.
Because,
No,
I mean, we're...
first of all,
Okay,
let me tackle this. Ghosts as a concept, as a supernatural concept, I don't believe in. But ghosts as let's analyze the word here, right? What is a ghost? Like a shell of a former person, like an afterthought, like the leftovers, when you throw shit in the garbage can and it leaks through the bag and like stains the bottom of the bin, that's a ghost, right? And so I would argue that in our human existence, like we're a little fucked up, at least I am. I'm just coming.
Hey,
clean. I'm
speak
a
for
little
yourself, Andrea.
Oh yeah, I am fucked in the face, and
No, I'm-
sometimes in the good
Sure.
way, but not all the
Me
time.
too.
But typically, I think that we're very preoccupied with fucked up bullshit that doesn't matter, which lends
A lot of
credence
times.
to the theory that we're just ghosts that are possessing the humans just to see what it's like. But like once we possess the humans, their subconscious and conscious memories and mind take over our soul, right? So we only know that we're ghosts when we split off again. Are you getting any of this?
Yes.
He lost me.
That's sort of the point.
Mm.
We are afraid of something not being here, and then people who aren't here coming back. And that's what I mean by, are we just preoccupied with human impermanence? Shouldn't we be focused on a more thoughtful existence? And like just accepting the fact that we may already be ghost inside of an organism that's alive kind of puts my fears at rest. I don't know.
Whether spiritual or digital, I feel that we are building our ghosts every day. If we're
Oh,
drinking, by
fuck.
the way,
fuck.
I
What do you
found
got?
a new drink at a party store. I went out to find coconut braziers, but they were all out.
Oh,
But I did find there's these lovely
A la
tadpole
Gilligan's
shots
Island.
that I've grown to
Wait.
love.
What
What
is that?
is
That's a
that?
shot?
Yeah,
Are
it's like
you?
a
Is this?
it's
Are
some
we
kind of
allowed to stream this
tadpole, I think.
online? I don't know if this is. This seems. This does not.
We're
seem
not
to
gonna get
violate
monetized
some
now,
sort of
dude.
rule.
Thanks.
I don't know what that is. I've never seen it before.
Well, I think it's a ghost. It's a
What
ghost
store
or a
were you in?
tadpole, right?
What is?
Oh,
that?
it's a
some sort of a-
ghost.
I think so.
Oh my goodness.
I check the label.
At
Yeah,
first, I thought
delicious,
it was a
whatever it
butt
is.
plug,
That
and
is
then
definitely
I
what
thought
it
it
is.
looked like a giant sperm. And
That's
but
what
ghost
I was
makes
thinking.
sense. That just shows you where my mind goes.
No,
No,
it
you
was
can
at
drink
a
it.
party store. There was a bunch of giggling gals around. I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
what have you
okay.
got there?" And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do these shots." And I was like, "Oh, I'll take a whack at them. They're delicious." So I've been drinking them all over the place.
Giggling
Okay.
Gals. So this was 1943. When was it?
44.
Just yesterday.
Oh, but Michigan.
Yeah,
I have another
where
question.
everything's sepia tone.
Here's another question. What if tomorrow all of your likes on Twitter were suddenly visible again, and
I
it was
can't
like
wait.
retroactive to when they went invisible?
I have not changed my
What
life
would we
behavior.
see?
I don't use Twitter for pornography. I'm not depraved, unlike some of you.
it just
Nobody-
pops up.
Nobody
there.
changed anything
Oh,
though.
sure it does, Sandy.
Yeah, right.
Sure
No,
it
the
does.
algorithm's not a thing. No, but
We
so
all
Nothing would
know what
change for
Sandy's getting
me.
up to
Yeah.
here.
Ugh, not there.
nothing would change for me either.
I haven't even liked any spicy posts of like people shit talking, so I don't think that I would get in trouble actually.
Okay.
It kind of makes the likes feel useless. So I haven't really I think my behavior has changed in the sense that I haven't been liking as much. And if there's something I want to come back to, then I'll just like put it in my bookmarks. But yeah, I think it really devalued likes.
I like everything
Yeah.
that people send to me because I understand it's mutual aid for their dopamine addiction. So I just
Mhm.
like every post that people send
I
me.
like it
You're gonna
for the
talk to
person
me. I'll give you a
posting.
little boost.
I want
That's
the
fair.
person posting to be like, "Oh, Matt likes my stuff."
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
true. You
I'm
can
not really
see who
liking a
likes
lot of
your stuff.
Hmm.
That's
Just to
true.
be honest, I don't like it. I think it's okay.
Here's a good one.
Mm.
Prairie Fire
Oh,
Kowalski.
thank you, Kowalski.
Last time when Binder was on, Kowalski was saying like, "Oh, this is great. We got Matt and Better Matt." And I was like, "Who's who, dude? What are you talking about? That's rude." And then he said, "Oh, we have Better and Even Better." And I was like, "Not really fixing that problem." Okay, here's another weird question. Can you remember how something tastes, or
I'm
do you
Brad.
just think you can remember how something tastes?
I have an
remember.
eidetic memory for taste.
Why would
I
you
think I
not?
can
Why would
remember.
it be? Why would it be
Well-
different from smell or sight?
Well, can you remember that either? Because like, are you just
Absolutely.
because people misremember shit all the time. So when
Not
I
me.
remember taste, I'm not currently tasting it again. So isn't taste just in the moment?
If you're asking, do you always have perfect recall? No, but do
No,
you?
nope.
I mean, you
Just
know what
taste.
macaroni and cheese tastes like. You know what
Mm,
your favorite cereal tastes like.
I know it's not offensive to me. Like I've determined
Are you-
that.
What
Do
is
you ever
that, Jake?
like get like a craving, and when you think about something that you really want to eat, like you kind of feel like your mouth water a little bit? Like I feel like that's you really recalling like the flavor of something.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a
I've eaten entire
question
meals just with
designed
my brain. Sometimes
purely to infuriate.
I just, a little
Hey.
full disclosure, I used to be anorexic. So when I was anorexic, I would often like stare at food and think about eating it. And a little mental illness for you. But yeah,
I
can
live
taste
this
with my brain.
sober lifestyle. Like I'm completely sober, and I think of the trippiest shit in the world. I've just been writing it down to ask you.
I
that.
love that though.
That's a great
Because
idea.
I can't get into that mentality unless I'm high. Otherwise,
Why
like
not
these
be high
thoughts
right
don't
now?
cross my head. Yeah, I'm perfectly sober right now. It's probably not the best idea. I don't know why I chose to be sober. I should just always not be
Because
sober
I
at
What do
these
you think?
am.
This is
times.
a professional show. You think
I'm
that
drinking
thousands of people are
vitamin
going to
water.
see you? You're
Um,
going to get 7
it's
views
not his
here. We're all
channel.
going to
I
get
had my
drunk and embarrass
first
ourselves.
alcoholic
No,
beverage
we're
in like 6 months on Sunday, which is crazy.
It
Not
is
that I'm an
wild.
alcoholic
Wow.
or was beforehand, but I just haven't really been drinking a lot.
Yeah,
it
when
happens.
was the last time you guys told a lie? Are you willing to admit it?
Today.
Yeah, just
You don't
now
have
it
to
never
incriminate
happened. Mike's just
yourself.
weird.
Well, I lied when I showed up here and I said I'm excited for the show.
Oh, I
In
can see
reality,
right through
I
that.
am fucking excited as shit
can
right
see
now.
right
This is a
through that.
great fucking show. I'm glad to be here. And that's why I'm drinking so that I cannot, not just to survive the show, but to enhance the show,
I don't think I've ever lied, not a single time. I'm a
Not
good boy.
once. Yeah.
Not
Okay.
once. Nope.
Not even for the greater good.
No, I would never. I would let the
You
greater
never
good
told anyone
perish.
you were straight before,
Oh, god damn it, Andrea. No, you know what's funny is that like the biggest lies that I can remember, I told them when I was like trying to get out of work. And there were some
That's
really
not
fucked
really a
up
lie, man.
lies. But they were really fucked up lies though. Like I was working at a call center and I wanted to just walk out and quit. And I did do that, but I couldn't just leave without saying anything. Like I wanted to give them an excuse.
This is awesome.
So I had told them that my dad had got into a car accident and he was on dialysis and he fell and he hit his head.
Yes.
Now here's the thing.
That's
That was
awesome.
actually true,
Oh, that's so
but it
horrible.
happened a week before.
Oh,
So I was
Oh.
trying to avoid the bad karma because it already happened.
oh.
Not that I
No,
believe in
it's-
karma, but you know what I mean. OCD,
Yeah.
like, superstition.
Still don't
in your
wanna
head,
mess
just in case. But I
Yeah.
said that, and they're like, "Oh my god, you can go." So then I left and never came back. And I don't know why that one reminded me, or that one like sticks out to me as like my biggest lie. I think it's because it was so like evil. Like I didn't have to be that dramatic and come up with
Nah,
something
fuck
like
'em.
that. I could have just
I'm
been
on
like,
your team.
I don't feel good. But instead I like went with this like big lie. I mean, it happened, but I was just like not telling them the timeline. And for whatever reason, it stuck out to me because I'm like, that was really weird and stupid. Like it's just always, I remember that. And it's very strange. I don't know.
I had a buddy of mine
Oh,
call
that's
into my
mine.
job. We were kids, so this is like dumb. But I said, all you have to do is call them and say, "This is Bruce Strackbine. My son Matthew is grounded. I'm not letting him come to work. Sorry." And I was like, it'll seem real
How
because
old were
I'm in
you?
trouble. 14. So he calls.
Wait, so where were you? You were working a job in like
I
the
was
mines,
working-
coal
I
mines.
was a grocery store. Similar.
Okay, similar.
Bagging groceries, digging coal, same thing. but-
Same ballpark.
But this guy, instead of saying Bruce Strackbine, he goes, "Oh yeah, this is Bruce Springsteen. I mean Strackbine." And I was like, I was just sitting there like, "Oh my god!" Nobody said anything. It never came up. I just went to work like 2 days later and it was fine.
Oh, man.
Fuck, I was like, "Yeah, I can't believe you said Springsteen." Just idiot.
love
But
that.
anyway,
I
those
just
are all
realized
the weird questions.
I do have a most recent lie. First of all, I've absolutely lied to the job before. I quit
Yeah,
a
fuck
job
'em.
once based on a lie. I just
Good.
didn't want to have a serious conversation about why I was leaving. So I was like, I have AIDS. No, I didn't. It wasn't that harsh, and I don't remember what I said, but it was like,
bad.
it was bad.
Oh,
It was.
God.
I felt bad about it driving away, but not bad enough that I was still thinking about it when I got home. But anyway, I did lie to my nephew quite recently. I told him I would pay him in gold coins if he helped me find a helmet in the backyard, and they're not real gold. Turns out, I did give him a sack of coins, but when he
Thought that
tries
counts.
to send him to
What,
a
you think he's gonna
museum,
take 'em
he'll be
straight?
disappointed.
He's gonna take him straight to the bank. Or
I think
something.
so.
Does it
I'm hoping
count?
my brother gets him a little deposit box or something so he can be disappointed later in life.
That would
Does
be
it count
amazing.
if you lie to your dogs? Because I feel like I do that pretty
Yeah.
frequently.
I
That's a
tell
lie.
my dog he's
does.
dumb, so that's a lie.
Oh, why would
No,
you do that, Andrea?
it's not a lie
It
to your
alliterates
dog.
with dog, so I like calling him a dumb doggy.
Oh,
Max, are you a dumb
Essentially true.
doggy?
They can smell fear, right? So
I
like
think
if
so.
you
They
were,
could sense it somehow.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
they'd
Through
be
smell?
like they would understand your intentions even if you were lying. I think they'd be
Mm.
like, he loves me. What are you talking about?
Well,
It's
for me
my
with
guy.
my dog, like my dog, he really gets upset at the television if there's like a horse or a dog on TV, and he freaks out. And he's an older boy, so he likes to jump down, and I don't want him to jump down because he'll hurt himself now.
Yeah.
So I try to lure him back by saying, "I've got a kibble," because he has like I give him like little kibbles. That's his treat because he can't have like regular dog treats. And I lie to him all the time, like kibble, and he falls for it all the time.
Kibble.
But it saves him in a way, so
Yeah.
it's a lie. But
It's
it's
I
for
like
his
like
best
cats.
intentions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the greater good I was talking about. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
I do
true.
it-
Yeah.
That counts. Yeah.
I do it with cats. I just scream, "Little Fritz, kids!" I get them up from the basement. Then I, if I don't have anything, give them up.
Hail here. I don't know if
I use trainers. Those little tiny treats you use for training, I use those still so that I can get away with giving my dog like multiple.
Oh,
treats
yeah,
a
that's what
day.
I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I like to throw the treats in the air and then he jumps up and catches them.
Oh, I
They-
wish my dog could do that. He can't. It lands on his face, like right in
Well,
between his
my
eyes.
dog has one eye that's fucked up, so he often misses, and that's part of the fun.
Mm.
I heard that you could train an elephant with raisins, which emphasizes it's just
I
about
have
the
no
reward.
clue. No clue
Yeah.
about that one.
Oh,
No
So,
clue.
You can
I
train an elephant
actually-
with watermelons
That's
too.
fascinating.
They love
actually.
watermelons.
I convinced my dog that an ice cube was a treat. And I was like, well, I'm saving money here. And then I found out it messes up their teeth. So you don't want to do that. And I was
oh,
like,
really?
oh.
Really?
I was like, oh,
Oh, I
man,
didn't know
frozen water? I'm never buying
Yeah,
dog
why,
treats again.
why
This
does it
is
mess up their teeth? Because it's
dulls
hard
them.
when they
Chew on
it.
chew them. So if you do it
Mm.
consistently, how is
You
that
think that
different
like
from
a bone? Yeah, that's
pretty
what I was
big.
saying, Sandy. Yeah,
That's weird.
Yeah, maybe I was lied to.
Maybe.
because I know there was like this.
carnivores.
Yeah, there was this viral post I saw on Facebook a couple of years ago during a heat wave in Oregon, and it was that you can't give your dogs ice cubes. Don't put that in water because it like causes their stomach to cramp up. And turns
Oh,
out that
they
was
do it.
complete
Oh, it's
nonsense.
Oh,
Yeah, because like I give my dog ice cubes because she likes them. Like not all the time, just like if one falls, like
Right.
okay, go ahead.
Right.
So I'm like, oh god, I guess I have to stop doing that. But it turns out that was an old wives' tale. wasn't actually true.
I hate old
That makes me
wives.
feel good.
I'm
Just
an
die
old
already.
divorced wife.
I just heard
Yeah, that's me.
somebody was telling me about an article that just came out that ice from like soda fountain machines is like the
Ew.
dirtiest
Oh, it
shit
is.
in
That's
the
true.
world. Like no one's cleaning inside
And
of that.
ice
Ugh.
machines in hotels and motels, the ice machine, they're gross too. The ice
Yeah.
makers. I worked as a bartender 100 years ago. We had the ice maker. You have to clean it, and they could be so disgusting. They get like this
Nope.
mucusy.
No, they don't.
Ugh.
And they do.
Ugh.
No, they don't.
It's true. I've seen it. But
I don't know why
Yeah.
that reminds me of gym.
But you have to clean it. You got to clean them. I mean, if you're if you're a place where they come in, the regulators come in, which after January 2025, we won't have any regulators left. But anyway, if regulators come in,
We're gonna avoid that.
whoa!
I
know.
like to
Not-
give
not
Max the dog.
joking. It's time to joke. If you don't joke about this shit, you go crazy.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
exactly.
agree.
True.
Absolutely.
Hey, right before we went on air, speaking of headlines, I saw this headline. This actress got stabbed like in the arm. Famous actress. Reese.
Reese Witherspoon.
Don't.
No, with a knife.
No.
Oh, he did it again. I
Oh my
fell
God.
for it.
I'm sorry.
No. We
She's
got the
okay,
dad-
everybody.
We got
That's
the dad.
There
the
was
dad
no
joke.
stabbing.
The dad joke.
I like to
Very
freeze wet food and then give it to Max, like in a little
Oh, that's
container.
good. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Huh.
They like
Like a
that.
Dog
that's a
food
good-
popsicle?
Yeah, in the
Oh,
house.
that's
Well,
really
a good idea.
creative.
Actually, I could do that with cats too if it's hot. Just put those pieces on the frozen. They'll eat it.
Yeah,
They'll
it's
lick it.
fucking hot as
Yeah.
shit. Just throw a frozen puck at him and he goes to town.
Here's one.
That's
My Benny B loves nothing more than getting filthy. So I will give him a bath just so he can get out of the sink and then run to the backyard and roll in filth. That's his favorite part of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
So-
like 15. It gives
So
him joy. Why not?
We're all pet owners. We're all pet lovers, not owners. We love them. We are pet caretakers here. Everybody.
If anything,
here? Cool.
Max the dog is the owner. I'm paying all this stuff.
Yeah,
this guy's
exactly.
sitting home all day. He's
Yeah.
rolling over.
Yeah,
Jesus,
my
goddamn
menagerie.
Christ.
By the
I
way-
live in service to them.
Whoever
Yes.
said Persona earlier, yes, that was it. Persona 5 is what I was thinking of.
Oh,
but
okay.
The Persona series.
Are you guys in K Hive now? See,
Yes.
speaking of lying, like I'm doing a very good
Mhm.
job of pretending to be the Democrats' biggest fan right
I
now.
was
The next
all
three
in
months-
on. I was
short on
K Hive, like the most K Hive person you've ever met. And then once Biden dropped out, now I'm done. I did my job. It's all over now. Fuck that bitch. Let's move on.
Let it ride.
I'm still K Hive. I will be K Hive until November 6th.
Yep.
And then I will be
Turn it
exiting
around.
K Hive. Yes, but for now I have to play the part. That means I have to harass people's families if they attack Kamala.
Yeah.
I have to do my part. So I have been doing that. No, I'm just kidding.
That's great.
Yeah, no, I'm K Hive for sure. Yeah.
I'm women's rights.
K-Hive, and
for
I really want to. Mike has the best beard on the internet. Facts.
Agreed.
That
Thank
is-
you.
that is
I
true.
agree.
Agreed.
I agree. It's the one quality about me that I like.
Notice that Jake is the one so enthusiastically saying that's true, and also Jake's the only one
Beard
that has
envy.
a beard besides Mike.
Well, I have the finest mustache on the internet, but I can't compete with the beard.
That's true though.
I do want to say we have an opportunity here to start whittling a progressive out of this neo-lib. Who's that? Mike. Who's that fella from the astronaut? Why can't I remember his name?
Oh, Mark Kelly.
Mark
Mark
Kelly.
Kelly. Thank you. So he came out with a very pro Israel doing genocide statement today.
Really?
Yes. If we can
Oh shit.
flood Kamala Harris, I ask you here watching, if we can
Oh my
flood
God.
Kamala Harris's inbox with emails from progressives saying, "So happy for you. It better not be that Mark Kelly fella."
I
Oh,
want to
shit.
know when you see the list of VP options, is that the media doing that, or did Kamala
no.
Harris say, "Oh, check it out. Here's who I'm thinking about for VP"?
Isn't it just like
where's that
governors,
list come
just
from?
Democratic governors from the swing states? Like
Some
it's
of them.
not like a complex formula.
Well, you
I
know,
think that it's very inconsistent. There's so many different leaks, and then there's different leaks. Nobody really knows what's going on.
So we just sit back until they make their choice because
I'm
why
on
get
team
ourselves all
Big
up in a-
Gretch. I want the super women ticket. That's me.
I would love
We
that.
should be vocal.
I want
I don't
Bernie.
think
That
this would
I
pass.
don't think it'll happen. But last night, Melanie Daniels, who follows all of us, she had said she brought up an interesting one about Pritzker and how he's the most progressive because he signed in to protect LGBTQ and something else in his state, and that everybody else would, according to her, give a shit. But I mean, he's one to look at. But would they do that? Would they take a more
So
progressive?
here's the thing. Whether they listen to us on the specific choice or not, when we tell them our reasoning, when we say, "Ooh, we hate that Mark Kelly because of what he just said today," what it tells the candidate is that these are people who are likely voters who pay attention to this stuff, who will give a shit. So even if they don't go with our specific choice, it helps mold them into the kind of person we want them to be. We can try to get them to say things on the campaign trail, which they will later have to live up to in office. It's just a matter of putting them in a series of awkward positions with constant light and annoying pressure.
I'd also like to
Mhm.
put anti shout outs on Roy Cooper. I met Roy Cooper. He's a piece of garbage. Fuck that bitch. North
Oh, really?
Carolinian governor. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Fuck him.
Noted.
And another thing, Andrea, you'll be interested. This is what I read today, that Mark Kelly also voted against the mandates that would be if in mass transportation for masks if there was an outbreak of something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
And-
these
Yeah,
people are
and he's a
fucking,
Peter Thiel
they're
guy.
pro-genocide. If you're pro-genocide in Gaza, of course, you're going to be pro-genocide of the sick, immunocompromised, and elderly with COVID. You know,
Boy,
it's the
we are
same.
never going to be happy with anyone. But there's
That's
nobody
right.
since there. It's
Nah,
like,
the reason I'm focusing on this is that this is where we change the way things have been. In the past, what
hope
we've
so.
done is just sit on our hands and be like, okay, well, now we see how we're going to be treated. But we should have learned from MAGA over the last 8 years. Getting
Mhm.
involved, being loud and annoying has its benefits. You don't have to be as obnoxious as them, but communicate with your representatives and make it clear what you want. Make it clear what your expectations are. I've noticed something. I'd like to round table this because I'm not sure if it's true. It's just
I only have the
noticed-
square
Right.
table. Is that acceptable?
Yeah,
All right, let's
rectangle
square
table,
table
buddy.
yeah, I
We'll
don't have a
rectangle
round
table it.
table
We'll octagonal table it. Here's
Grid
the deal.
table.
Pentagonal. Oh, we'll pentagon it.
I don't want to be associated with such a thing.
Fair
Go
enough.
back,
We'll
go back to
rhombus it.
round.
All right, fair enough.
All right.
I believe that the Democrats and Republicans, up until Trump, were in fact playing to their base. And what we thought was their base was simply wrong. We'd be like, oh, yeah, the base of Republican voters, it's those Tea Party types. No, that was another party forming. Or, oh, yeah, the base of Democratic voters, it's the hippie types. No, that was an unsatisfied group that was stuck with the Democrats. The base of these people is the center. I think as progressives, we should start, I think, basically just following what MAGA did in terms of how they took over their party.
Yeah,
We
but
should
they've
be
been doing
doing
it
the
for
same.
50 years, Jake. The Heritage Foundation, they have been doing it
And
through
it's
the Catholic Church, the evangelicals. This is something that is a huge, very many
Agreed. But
Ish.
we don't have to trial and error it like they did.
Well, and they
can
had
look
Trump,
at their
who-
blueprint and follow it.
We're
Well,
just
Trump is
we would just
the
be
idiot in the
faking it.
front. Ah.
No,
We don't
they-
have.
they-
If
they
it was
didn't-
Bernie, yeah, okay, maybe, but like, how do we do that with anybody
we don't
else?
need everything they needed, but we should still learn from what they did because Trump doesn't happen without the MAGA fanatics. First, thing number one on the prescription, things they did that actually worked. Contacting the representatives constantly. Thing number two, running
Becoming
for very
representatives.
small offices. Boom, boom. Become a
Lying,
representative.
manipulating,
It
telling
was
people.
Nope, we don't follow that
Transformational.
stuff.
Transformational activism. When
Seems
you
to work
go
in this
to your politician, you tell them what you want, they fucking do it. You are
Yeah.
changed. It awakens something inside of you, and you can either lean into it in a good way or in like a toxic way. And I think that we more often than not see it in this toxic manner. But I hear what you're saying. I think there is something to it. It's like you can sign petitions all day, but if you're like there in person,
I have a
it's
question.
different.
And
table.
also sign petitions and also write emails. It's as
Yeah,
simple as
walk
that.
and chew gum.
What-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's
okay,
your- what's
so
your question?
Republicans and MAGA are the main thing that makes them so successful is all the money that they get. So my question is, how much money do you think would be required in left-wing spaces to mount a similar campaign? When you consider that MAGA philosophy is unpopular, you know, some of the stuff is popular with average Americans, but a lot of it's unpopular, you know, like the racism, people are kind of moving on, but you know, past that, and the economic stuff. So really they're funding a lot of money to make a movement, right? But like there's going to be extra money that's wasted because like just because the ideas are so unpopular, they're going to have to brute force it in, right?
Mhm.
So that's an advantage that the left has. You know, people want universal health care or whatever. You know, I don't think that left-wing policies are as popular as a lot of people say, but still I think we do have an advantage there. So theoretically, if we had a couple billionaires, how much money do you think would be required to mount such a campaign? Hundreds of millions, billions, you know?
I'm not sure what the premise. Well, first of
I
all, I'm
think
not
it's
sure I
more than
agree with
that.
the premise, but
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
money is important, but it's also institutions and organizations. Like, the right is successful not just because they have more billionaire donors, but also because they've been playing the long game for so long.
You can't
Exactly.
count that. You
Mhm.
can try to replicate it, but what are we going to do? Replicate it in 3 months? I mean, it's how, if we are where
gotta
we
build the
are,
institutions
why
first.
haven't we why aren't we where we need to be? What happened? We have to look at where the ball got dropped. I know Jill Stein just did something today, and people are talking about that, and it's not about the win, it's about changing the system, it's about changing why until we get rid of Citizens United and some of the other types of issues, we are not going to make the changes we have to make. So we have to work to legislatively change those things, I believe. How can we do anything without changing the way money is in politics? How?
To get to where they are in 3 months it's kind of a non sequitur. It's
Okay.
we don't need to get to where they are. We don't need an equivalent of Trump, and we know, but for progressives, and we know that Kamala Harris won't be that. But what we can do is do what they did to, say, Mitch McConnell's a terrible example. Do what they did to, like, J.D. Vance, for example, and take a person who is on the spectrum of left to right and push them in the direction that, and put them in the direction that we want them through social pressure. And I think Kamala Harris is perfect for this right now. She had leftist tendencies. She's going to want to distinguish herself from Joe Biden. We suspect that she's got less. It would be hard to be worse on Israel. I just think now is a great time to start experimenting with that and applying that pressure.
Here's what I will say.
Let's send her pictures and graphics and videos from Gaza.
Yeah,
lots of them.
Genuinely, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that there's two different things to focus on. One is what like the left can do. That's grassroots people, that's us, the ideologues. And then there's what the Democratic Party and their donors can do, like the establishment, generally speaking, for lack of a better word. Like they should right now be creating their own federalist society. They should right now be creating their own propaganda networks in the same way that Republicans have their own propaganda networks. And they just haven't been doing that. Like the infrastructure isn't there when it needs to be there. Like there should be a long bench of just federal appointments on the left or progressive or liberal that they go with. So the right they've known for a really long time that they're not going to win unless they really play the long game. And they slowly but surely take over institutions at the low level. Democrats, for the most part, like during the Obama years, they lost, what was it, like over 1,000 seats in state legislatures across the country. They just kind of
that back.
Yeah, they abandoned local politics, and it was just all national. And they kind of like instilled this belief into all of us that politics is top down when it's bottom up. And Republicans, they've invested in bottom up politics, which is why the Republican Party, they listen to the base so much more because they know that that's what drives a lot of this, right? So it's a little bit of both, like what the left can do and what Democrats need to do as well. In terms of Kamala Harris, I'll be honest, this is a little bit cynical. I don't think that we're going to be able to pressure her at all. I think that her campaign has shown signs that they're pretty savvy compared to Biden. And at this point in time, they are fully aware of all the vulnerabilities with each and every single VP pick. She knows that Josh Shapiro said that the college protesters were like the KKK and he's anti-BDS. She knows that Mark Kelly was clapping for Netanyahu. She knows all of these things. The question is, does she think that it's a big enough liability? Right. And that's gonna really be the true test. Because if she chooses one of them, then that tells us she's not as savvy as we thought that she was. Currently, we've gotten a lot of really good indications that she's much more plugged in than Joe Biden. She knows what the left is saying.
He played the long game for 3 years. That's the thing. Like, you got to give it to her. She played it really well.
Yeah, she did great.
Do you think that 12% uncommitted vote in Michigan is going to be factoring into her calculations at all?
Absolutely.
Big Gretch.
Absolutely.
Got to get her in here.
Oh, really? You do
Tim
think?
Walz,
I thought that was a done deal now. Huh?
No, Tim Walz, for example, he is one of the, I don't know how much she's considering him, but he reportedly got vetting materials. But he was talking about how these people have to be listened to by the president. So if she really is worried about the left and Gaza, she's going to pick somebody like Tim Walz. If she just wants an inoffensive person who can unite the party, she's going to pick somebody like Andy Beshear. Andy Beshear is a Democrat governor in a red state. And what he's been able to accomplish is like the blueprint going forward for Democrats. Like last year, it was re-election campaign, his second term, and Republicans basically, they dared him to veto gender-affirming healthcare bans for trans youth. They're like, go ahead. So they put it up. It was a sweep, like it included everything. And guess what he did? He vetoed that shit, and then he went on to win re-election. So somebody like that is very good to have on the ticket because he unites the left, he unites liberals, and he just doesn't take bullshit from Republicans. So she knows all of this, and right now, having a woman of color at the top of the ticket, they're going to find somebody squeaky clean. They're going to find somebody who's perfect. Shapiro, there's already scandals with regard to him having to pay out settlements. I'm kind of butchering the story, but like
in this office within the office.
one of his aides was accused of sexual harassment or something to that effect. You'll have to Google it to get more details. Right. If she picks somebody like that, it goes to show you that her team is not as savvy as we hoped. But every indication we've got so far has been really, really good. So I would be shocked if she picks somebody that's a lightning rod like Mark Kelly, who was against the PRO Act, and all of a sudden he's for the PRO Act. I mean, nobody's going to buy that. And, like, nobody thinks you're serious. So we'll have to see. I think that we're going to learn a lot about Kamala based on her VP pick. Like, it's not... VP picks typically don't matter, but they kind of do in this election, especially when the party's so divided, when the left, when the uncommitteds are not committed yet. But she has an opportunity. And the fact that she boycotted Netanyahu's speech and she called Pramila Jayapal, one of the first people she called, the head of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, I think that she knows that...
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, she knows you need to be progressive to win. Also, remember, she ran for president in 2020. And in the lead up to that, she was getting on board with Green New Deal, Medicare for all. And even though she kind of ran away from it and backtracked on abolishing private insurance, her instinct is that she knows she has to be progressive. Her voting record was one of the most progressives as a senator. So I think that so far I feel really confident that she knows her shit and her team knows her shit. So I'd be surprised if they pick a really terrible VP. But having said that, though, Democrats... they like to Democrat things up. So you never know, right? But I think the VP pick tells us a lot. Democrats and a Democrat.
You said it so nicely.
We live in this world where I'm never surprised, but I'm constantly shocked. And that would be the perfect fucking thing to just make me go, I hate this new meme that's living in my head. But I think there's you hit the nail on the head, Mike, when you said that this time the VP matters. A lot of times to me, it's like, okay, pick your VP, whatever.
Tim Kaine in the membrane.
But even if it is just symbolic this time, I think it really, really matters because as corny as it might sound, this is a real opportunity for the left and the Democrats to come together and just defeat the guy and the party, right? Like, just get...
Where have I seen this movie before, though?
This is what I'm saying. It feels like any other time somebody said we need unity, I'm like, no, we don't, fuck you. But this time it's like, yeah, we kind of do here, right? Like, can we all just suck it up one last time, move forward, and then, like, hopefully the VP is somebody more progressive than the majority of the options, and you laid it out perfectly.
I've been enjoying that the liberals, like on Twitter and stuff, are really like, they're going in on the "can you believe Donald Trump is so old" thing. Like, I'm enjoying
Hassan,
it.
like,
I love it.
It's like 5 times a day with, like, just a reminder: Trump is totally unfit to be president because of his age. And like, whoa, dude.
The memes have been pretty hilarious. You have to say.
Yeah. I say
the wine moms are cooking with gas.
Yeah, the resistance libs, they are so on fire right now. Like, 9 times out of 10, I hate them. But you know what? Bless their hearts currently. They really are crushing it. But, like, I think that the closest that this feels to me is Obama 2008. That was the first time I was able to vote. And I was just kind of, like, instinctively progressive and really galvanized by the Iraq War. And just everybody was fired up. Everybody was talking about it in the streets. Like, you can go in public and hear people talking about it. And I'm seeing that again. People are, like, buzzing. And so that's one thing that does give me hope. And it makes me believe that maybe unity is actually possible, where you have enough leftists saying, you know what, I'm going to suck it up and vote for Kamala. But the problem is that she has such a gift right now and she could squander it, which is what I really worry about. Because the left is fickle for good reason, because Democrats have betrayed the left so many times.
There's a lot of critique also on her, which I think at this point we have to take a little bit more of a wait and see. But
Yeah.
there's those like Abby Martin, and she really came out, and I think it's all on her Gaza stand, or how it will be, the Israel stand and AIPAC and all. I don't think we can judge her on one situation as big as it is.
Mhm. Well, it's tough because there's so many things to balance, right? If
Right.
Gaza is your number one issue, you can't convince that person
No.
to vote for Kamala Harris. It's going to be very
Right. difficult.
difficult. Like trying to tell somebody who's an Arab American, no, you have to vote for this person as part of the administration that did the genocide. Like you can try
Right.
to make the argument that she'll be better, and that's that compared to Trump, it's a good thing. But it just feels so gross to say that.
I
Having
know.
said
I
that,
would never
though,
tell anybody who to
Say,
vote.
right.
Forget
Having
about
said
your
that,
grandma.
though,
How much did you love her, really?
yeah,
Sorry she
exactly.
exploded, but we've got politics to do.
Mm.
Yeah,
Doesn't
you
really
can't
work.
tell people to just put that aside. But with that being said, there's also this section of people online that's like, oh well, how dare you support Democrats? You're supporting genocide. When it's like, well, yes, I care about Gaza. That's a really important issue, but I also care that my trans niece gets to stay in the country. That's
I don't
a
want to
very
fucking
important
leave the
thing.
country. I like
Right.
when Jover happened. I'm not gonna lie to you. I felt like it's like a sense of relief that I didn't even know. Like I was so
Yeah.
stressed. I didn't even know I was so fucking stressed.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think Kamala is gonna win. It's a layup. I think it's a 0% chance Trump wins. I'm a
I
little
love your
too
confidence.
optimistic,
No, I love
Maybe.
how you're
but I'm
feeling.
I love
100%.
that.
I think Kamala is gonna win.
How do you feel about these polls right now? Is it too
I'm
early
not
to pay
watching them.
attention?
It's
to
too early.
these?
It's
She's
way
got
too early
3
right
months.
now.
She's got 3 months. We got the convention. We got the VP. She's going to go hard on the campaign trail. She's going to win. I mean, there's no. You think Trump's going to beat Kamala Harris? Like, give me a fucking break. Like
And-
the right's just like calling her like a fucking like blowjob warrior. Like that's
I
the
mean,
best that
she's
they
Isn't that
got. you know?
amazing?
They got
They
nothing.
already had to do that
Nothing. Yeah.
memo where they're like, hey, stop doing the racist stuff.
hmm
The
And they
fact that they
won't.
have to
Yeah.
say that is
They're
so
gonna get
telling.
fucking creamed. It's not.
Well, and-
it's not even close.
They got nothing.
When was the last time that Democrats were actually able to effectively counter Republicans? Like you see Tim Walz
Yeah.
going on mainstream media saying
Decades.
these guys are freaks. Look at them; they're just little freaks that care about what. Like that is, I don't think that Republicans realize that is so effective because it hits at a visceral level. And like with
Yeah.
Kamala, her slogan so far is "We're not going to go back." Like that is so powerful because
So
it's kind of
good.
like a "Make America Great
Everywhere.
Again," where it's like if I'm a trans person, that means I'm not going to go back to when we
Right.
had to go in the closet. If I'm a worker, I'm not going to go back
Such
to
a
when
good
we
point.
couldn't form unions.
That's her theme.
So you could
That
fill
is
it
her
in.
theme.
And so like this moment is so unique. And that's why I brought up Obama, because I remember being in college and just being at the store and hearing people talk about it. When the news dropped, I filmed a video and then I went immediately to a wedding reception. And it was so crazy to just hear people, like, as I'm walking down, talk like on their phones, like, oh my God, now we have a chance of winning. Like, just like, who wants to talk about politics? Because like I could be walking by, be a Trump supporter, be like, hey, liberal, so, but they're just, people are buzzing. And as I was telling people, I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, did you hear the news? Because nobody had really heard yet.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Like running from
no.
door to
I'm like,
door.
Joe Biden dropped out. And I'm
It's
just going up
fucking
to
Joe
liberals because I'm not going to go up to a random person. But like the liberals I know, I'm like, hey, did you know that Biden dropped out? And all of a sudden just high fives, like, oh my God, it happened. We can win again. Like people are so fired
No.
up. And
My
I have
whole
not felt this
family-
since Obama 08.
That's the
The
other
whole
thing about
family
not
of
going
liberals.
back is it's also referencing Biden and like the old guard of the Democratic Party. you
Right.
know?
We were all in the pits of despair
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
It
Biden.
was dark.
We were like, "Fuck, dude."
I
You're throwing in the towel.
I
You're
have a
giving
go
up.
bag.
This is-
I have plans to leave the
Yeah,
country,
veg.
and I put them in the shredder because I'm good to go.
Somebody,
I haven't done that yet, Andrea. I have the same thing. I've not done that yet, but I'm feeling better.
Let me tell you something, folks. When the debate happened, I don't remember when it ended, but it was like late at night.
Oh, I was like, it hasn't ended.
11:30, something like that.
In the morning, I found a note had been like taped to the like. I have a shitty apartment. Outside of my apartment door, there was a note taped to it. It was from my mother, who drove to tape a note on my door, and it reads, I kept it, and I will keep it
Oh,
forever. It reads,
okay.
"Sweet Jesus, Biden needs to step aside."
My
I
whole
love your mom so
family
much.
said this.
Oh
I
my
know.
God.
That's amazing. My family said it too.
I don't know. We haven't even had a conversation about that. We text
It's
all
like
the time.
the
I'm
moment
a
the
mama's
debate
boy,
happened,
but
it was Jover.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that. Think
Everybody
Trump's
knew
got to
it.
be
Sweet
regretting
lady.
it so bad.
Polish
Trump
lady
fell right in.
had to drive around in the middle of the night just to get her head on after seeing that debate, and like the whole country, I feel like felt that way.
Well,
Yeah,
my
and
brother was
Mhm.
I got
freaking
drunk
out
and
that
passed
night.
out.
all my normie friends, I only call them normie because when it comes to politics, believe me, they are not normie about their fields of expertise or whatever. There's nothing wrong with these people, but they are like, "What the fuck, dude? What's
All right.
going on? Don't they understand what the threat is here?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And this is I always reference this. This is one of my friends. We were just hanging out, and he said, "Yeah, man, I hear you talking shit about Elon Musk all the time. What is it that you don't like about him?" And I'm like, "Whoa, what is it
Right.
that you do
Alright.
like about him?" And he
Have a
was
seat.
like, "Good point." And I was like, "Let's talk." But like that to me, it's like, okay, fine, good. Elon Musk isn't living in your head rent free. Good. That's
Right.
great. We'll take care of that. Don't worry. We're gonna rail that guy. You don't have to worry about it.
We're
But
gonna do what?
Yeah, say it. Run that by me one more time.
rail? Is that what is that? Is that a pornographic term?
Are you a boomer? No, we're kidding.
We're
I don't
gonna
really.
Apropos
I
of
don't
nothing.
know.
rake him over the
Just gonna have another
coals,
sip of that.
whatever the fuck.
Whoa,
Pick your.
buddy,
What? No,
buddy.
it's
Woo.
I don't get out a lot. Okay, so sorry,
Listen, it's
but
You get out
usually
more
me.
than me.
It's usually me. I'm always the one.
but
that
they
doesn't
know
understand.
Trump is a threat, and they saw Biden as being like totally unqualified. They just get it, and I
Yeah.
can't even guarantee that they vote, but they understand that this is just really bad. It was undeniable, and that alone was a very refreshing thing for me. As you guys know, I spent a lot of my time criticizing the mainstream media, and for them to, whatever their motivations were
Everybody
behind the scenes, a lot of them seem to be like, all right, fuck this. Well, I'm not going to pretend
Right.
this is bad. And to me, it was like, that was very good. And they kind of pivoted after the weekend or whatever. But
Did you all remember when Biden
point
did
of
that,
reference.
rally 2 days after the debate, and they were trying real hard, like,
To
I got
prop 'em
knocked
up.
down and I'm gonna get back up, and then no one really cared about it, but like the libs were crazy at that time. They're like, oh, Biden's back.
Yeah,
It
but
did not
watching
work.
him
And then
was
Trump got shot,
painful.
and they thought it was over again, and then it's like,
Yeah.
nope, it's Jover.
What
It's
a couple
done.
of weeks. Okay, can I
Yeah,
throw something
right?
out to this group? Can I throw something out to this group? All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I'd
Wait.
rather
Hey,
you throw it
Sandy.
into the group.
Sandy.
What? No, this is
I'm
important.
just real quick.
Yeah.
I Googled what does it mean to rail somebody, and,
Oh,
and it says
Image search.
to criticize someone severely or angrily,
good.
especially for personal failings.
Okay, so
So
we're
go fuck
railing.
yourselves.
I think
I'm
that's
not a
rail
perv.
on. Isn't that grammatically? Isn't
I
it?
never.
I'm
I didn't
railing
say you
on.
were
Railroad,
perv.
maybe?
They said that, Matt. I
That's
said
Google.
boomer.
Yeah,
kidding
you know what? Never
around.
mind, Matt. Pop
And
on
I can
down
say
to
that
your
'cause
local
I
bar
am
and say,
one.
hi, I'm looking for someone to come on my show that I do on the internet and rail me real good.
Oh God. Matt,
Okay,
this is
Sandy,
wonderful.
up.
what were you gonna say,
Please
Sandy?
rail
Okay,
me
here
live
we
on
go.
stream. Thank you.
Jake, shut up. You started this shit. All right. Listen. Here we go. So yesterday on my show, at the end, we had a conversation, and someone said, "Okay, somebody in my community of sciencey, doomer, geeky people said, well, the thing is, if Kamala Harris, whatever they said it wrong, Kamala Harris wins, there's going to be a civil war, so we might as well vote for Trump so that doesn't happen." Okay. I want to hear what each of you
Coward.
thinks. First of all, well, I said pussy. I was pissed. I
Yeah.
said, "Oh yeah," and I'm of that. Hey, there's certain things I could still say because I am of that generation. The guy. I said, "We're not pussies." And what are we going to walk around and show fear? I mean, this really pissed me off because I am not a person that shows fear. So, okay, guys, run with this one.
Yeah, I think
Well,
it's
yeah,
cowardly.
like if you think that Kamala being elected is going to start a civil war, okay, that's one data point. And if you take that and say, so therefore we should vote for Trump, I mean, now I'm gone completely. I could understand if you think Kamala winning, that's going to make Trumpers mad. I could, there's a little bit of logic there. But the idea that you would spin that to go and that's why I'm voting for Donnie. I'm like, come on.
And
No,
yeah,
you're dumb.
It's
You got a low
crazy.
IQ, buddy.
Well, that
The
was
lead in the
before
gas. If your
somebody
generation's
said
the one with us breathing in all that leaded gasoline, Had to go
roll over
to
from
the
Mein
doctor to
Führer
check him
there.
up.
Oh, how do you
You're-
know it was somebody
Ju-
from my generation? I don't
That's what
think
you
it
said.
was.
You said it was our generation.
Just gonna
No,
throw
that
it
was
out there.
before
If
that.
you're
Okay.
if I mean, just tell him to vote for Kamala or good lord, Kamala, or you'll hit him. I mean, that's their logic. They're afraid of it. They're
Fear.
saying we must appease people that threaten us. So okay, fine, easy peasy. I'll whip you with this bike lock if you don't. What are you
And
talking
then
about?
people are saying, "Oh, what because of if he calls up a militia like he did at the border or something, a bunch of people,
We
how can
stomp
we?
their heads
First
in.
of all, we are not going to be in fear of anyone, and all the
Mhm.
protesters that have been out there this year protesting in support of Gaza, and all of the climate protesters in the UK, everybody out there is not feeling fear. There's
Mhm.
Yeah.
fearless. We have to be fearless about everything we do. We
Yeah. I
cannot
think-
shirk.
I
our
don't agree with their
responsibility.
premise. I don't think there's going to be all the things they're claiming. I think
civil-
these
I don't
people
think
are
so either.
They've
awfully
also said this
mouthy.
literally
Get
for
off
every
civil
presidential
war.
Yes.
election ever.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
I have
Get
a
off
family
social
member
media.
who's very conservative, and during
Mhm.
08, if Obama wins, that'll be a civil war. You know what he said during
Yeah.
the second
Yeah.
Obama?
Yep.
Same thing. Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, same thing. The fact remains that even if that were true, we
Reactionary.
never succumb to fascism. We fight fascism. We kill
Yes.
fascism. So
Yes.
you don't just cower in fear. That's a very liberal instinct, but you can't be afraid of these people. We have to crush them. So I think that's the worst
What are you, a
argument ever.
Fear
And
in the
Isn't it
that
the
person
worst?
should just not vote if they're going to vote for Trump because they're afraid of fascists.
They should. I'm shocked that
I'm gonna vote
they
for Trump because I hate
were
fascism.
willing to say that out loud. Even
No, it wasn't
like,
even.
do you
it
have
wasn't-
no
it was
spine?
not. It was not a. It wasn't a person in my chat. No. This was just somebody repeating to me
What the
something
fuck?
that someone else had
Did
said.
anyone hear that? Was that a
I heard it, but it wasn't.
what
coming
the
from
I didn't
me.
hear
You know,
anything.
somebody in your chat.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
No, it was
What?
somebody
That was a super
relaying.
loud clip.
what the
I
fuck?
have.
I looked away
look,
for a second. Is anyone? Am I having a
look,
psychotic
anything can
episode?
happen on this show. Just relax. Like, just deal
What
with
did
it.
you
Bubble
hear?
Andrea night.
Yeah, I
I
didn't hear
think-
anything.
I think that I've always had just lots of respect for protesters, and seeing people in the streets does my heart good. I also
Fearless.
am terrified because I see how they're treated or mistreated.
Yeah.
And like people are just sitting around doing nothing. Here comes the goon squad in SWAT gear beating the shit out of everyone. So the people out there protesting right now are like the most heroic motherfuckers I can put my eyes on. It is
Fearless.
amazing. Like
The
it is
only-
completely
yeah.
because they know what's going. If there's
Right.
any, can you imagine being the one protester out there right now who's like, "Wait, what they say? They're going to beat us up for what?" It's like, dude, no, they're going to beat us up. This is what happens when you protest. Count on it, right? And so
Yeah.
I just think that's so amazing. It just really,
But we're in trouble.
I'm
even
on
in the-
their side,
in the
and they're on
UK.
my side. That makes me feel so good.
They're putting Roger Hallam, who's founded Extinction Rebellion. They're putting Roger in prison for 5 years for having a Zoom call talking about civil disobedience.
Yeah,
I
See,
did
he
an
didn't even
interview with
do
him
anything
about
yet.
to
You know-
talk to people about how to do civil disobedience in the United States, since they've been doing it very successfully until this whole fascist movement, and they had put him in jail before. Now it's again.
We
So we're
gotta
fighting.
deal
So
with
he
it.
got sent to jail for thought crimes. Is that correct?
Basically, or civil disobedience protesting. They don't believe in violence. There are civil disobedience for climate protests. Extinction Rebellion is a big movement, and now it's just Stop Oil, climate defiance. A lot of them.
We got to Huey Freeman this. We got to protest his imprisonment. We can't abandon him just because.
Oh, I'm not abandoning Roger. I mean, I hope that we
Yeah.
won't. But
I'm just
we're
saying,
here.
as a movement, it's on
This is the
now. Your old pal
UK.
Jake to remember that and spread the word.
It
On a,
sucks.
it does suck. On a semi-related note, I want Mike. Earlier, you said something that's just it burrowed into my mind brain here, and it's not going to leave till I address it. You were talking about how we need the Federalist Society, and you said Democrats. Going back even further to what I was talking about with the bases, the Democrats' base does not make a Federalist Society. The progressive base does. So the Federalist Society in terms of where it actually begins in the chain of events, it's not all that complicated. It's pizza parties and it's interesting speakers. Those are literally the two things. Listen to the 538 podcast talking about it. They walk through what actually physically happens, and it's just a pizza party, free for anybody that wants to come by.
I love pizza.
And famous conservative speakers stopping by colleges. We can do that with progressives. Pizza's cheap, and I understand that a fancy New York lawyer who's got a podcast named Olay. I'm just saying, if you can get her to speak at a college, I'll buy the pizza pie.
I like parties.
Pass it along if you think she'd be interested, because we can do the progressive version of the Federalist Society. And the understanding is we're looking for promising students who we can say, look, if you're going to be a fancy lawyer, here's where we need fancy lawyers. And we'll get you all the connections we can. We'll look out for you. Join this, whatever we call it.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. No, I think that if you do things like that at the local level, it is really important. It's meaningful. And if you don't know where to start, you can also start with like a local DSA chapter and try to form one yourself, or just like talk to people. For me, like what I meant by Federalist Society, like on the left, I think that that's kind of something that is out of our control just as individuals. I think at the institutional level, I think that Democrats have to establish these things to be effective.
That's my point. Is Democrats will not. They will establish a neoliberal.
But they don't want shadowy, dark. I mean, we fight against shadowy, dark money to a degree. You know, the left does. I don't know. Neoliberalism is a little bit different, of course.
Well, they kind of have some institutions, like they have CAP, Center for American Progress. Not a great, not a great organization, but it is at least one really Democratic Party affiliated or adjacent think tank. You know, it's not officially part of the Democratic Party, but they give policy recommendations. They do studies on behalf of the Democratic Party. And I think that there needs to be more effort on the Democratic Party side to mobilize people at the very, very grassroots level. Like we're talking city council races and whatnot, but they just don't have that infrastructure nationally. And part of that is, it's up to the states, but the states, they're only as strong as the national apparatus is. And if you look at like the national DNC apparatus, it's a clown show. Like you have the DNC chair arguing with people on Twitter. So I think that they have to get serious, and they really do need to make sure they build out this network that makes it easier for people everyday people who want to get involved. And really at this point in time, it's much more like a la carte in the sense that like you have to find a candidate who's running and then maybe you could join their campaign. There's other like there's DSA, for example, but like the Democratic Party, my point is that they haven't really done what Republicans have done, right? Like there's so many socials for, Republicans. It's just,
That's awesome.
I love that.
Well, I'm just saying, let's not build that for the Democrats. Let's allow the Democrats to keep on having these blind spots and assume that we are going to be enemies after we collectively defeat Republicans. And let's build that for progressives.
I choose my philosophy for voting is choose which enemy you want to fight.
Right.
I'm a speedrunner. I play video games quickly. Like one of the crucial things with speedrunning is you choose the easiest way forward. You don't want to fuck around doing the stupid hard bullshit.
Yep.
I'd rather fight Kamala Harris than Donald Trump. Let's be honest. Yes. I tried fighting Trump. Didn't go well for me. So, hey, I'd rather fight her.
To that end, the Federalist Society works by simply enticing college kids with a free meal or whatever, and getting them to listen to ultra conservatives. I'm saying it costs us next to nothing if Olay donates her time or we find somebody else, whatever. It costs us nothing to do that, and that's how we can counter them. I think we tend
Olay would build a movement like
absolutely
overnight.
I think we tend to think about things until we reach a point where we can't do anything, and then use that as our excuse to not do anything. I'm as guilty as anyone of that. But in this case, to actually literally counter the Federalist Society, if we're talking about planting a seed here, Mike, I know you were talking about it pretty lightly earlier, but now I'm obsessed with it, and I'll probably try to make it happen.
Hey,
I
our
love that.
revolution is still around. Our revolution is still around.
Hell yeah.
And actually, I watched a really nice. They're a really nice organization, quite frankly. Maybe 2 nights, but I did enjoy watching. They did a couple of live streams, and I liked it. They made me feel good.
It's
I'm gonna go get
11:03
a
p.m.
refill.
on the East Coast. If anyone wants to bail, we've been going for about an hour here.
No,
I'm
I feel
having
like
a
we
great
just got
time,
started.
but I know people have, lives. So whatever you got to do.
I don't.
So while Andrea is not here, I want to take issue with something she said on her show last Friday, where she was saying that she has controlling shares in Left Past 10 Industries.
Oh,
Number one, it's
really?
not an
I've been
industry.
sucking up to her. Is that not true?
Number two, there are no shares. Number three, if there were, they'd be mine. So let's just cut the malarkey.
I bought
who
so many
else
shares
can-
from Andrea.
Who else can end the whole show right now except for me?
That's right.
So
We can't even
Okay.
end it when I get off.
I am your
As soon as I leave,
benevolent
I can't even
dictator
end it.
here. Okay. I'm doing you
Benevolent.
favors, and I
Use the
don't
big
necessarily
word.
have to. No.
The
I
big
have
Hey,
word.
Andrea, what's
You
up?
this whole time?
I have breaking news. Okay, so
Yeah.
I went to go
Okay.
refill my wine because I'm getting drunk, and I saw this.
Oh, Max.
Oh.
Oh my God. What a golden
He's got his
nugget.
head
Oh
on the
my gosh.
pillow. Look at this.
Oh.
I mean, this is insane. Is anyone seeing this right now?
How
With
sweet.
the mournful eyes,
That's
too.
cute.
Oh,
Wow.
he's thinking
That's
Living
what
his
I
best
saw.
life.
thoughts. Yeah.
That's cute. My
So
cat.
anyway,
got
what were
his
you
head
guys arguing
stuck-
about?
No,
Nothing.
just My cat
I'm
got
drinking the whole
his
bottle.
head stuck in a plastic container today, and he couldn't get it off. And he was
Oh.
running around. It was really, really upsetting because I am scratched literally to shit everywhere.
Anti shout outs to plastic.
I got it. It was horrible, and I got it off him. And that poor cat. He's not a year old yet. He was upset for 2 hours.
That
Aw.
I like
used
that he's
to-
just holding a grudge about it.
That used to happen
He was
with raccoons.
traumatized. Yeah, but
When-
there's nobody getting them off the raccoons.
Well, when I lived in Colorado, they would do this all the time to, watering cans and stuff that we had outside by the garden. And these raccoons in Colorado live in the sewers, and they're massive. It's really intimidating when you see them come out of the sewer because they'll walk right up to you angrily. So I saw one.
Are they scaled?
Wait,
These
no,
might not be
no, they're not.
They're-
Oh,
they're not
they were
carbon.
alligators.
Yeah.
But no, this guy, we had a
Traditional
tree.
races.
We had a tree that was split, and this raccoon just knew if he backed into it, he could pry it off.
Hmm.
So he would back through
they
the V shape
learned.
of the tree and then push the can off his head.
Wow.
And I'm like,
Ah,
so this has happened to you before, huh, buddy? And
It's
you
just gonna-
dumb ass.
you have a special tree for this.
and they
keep
did it
doing
again.
it. They're like, no, it's okay. I'll get it off.
Yeah,
Anyway,
That's really wild. I don't know. I
Oh,
hope this cat
literally.
does not do that again. But I'm very careful about what I leave around. I never thought this. I hear boom, boom, boom. What the hell's going on? Poor thing. You imagine getting your head not be. That's terrifying. I think.
It's panic inducing. I would freak out.
And it's a
Yeah.
cat. Cats panic.
I interviewed Samuel Satin last night, who is a manga writer, and this guy is a great comic book writer, and he has a new manga about Unico, this little baby unicorn, and it is one of the best things I've read in a long time. And you know me, I'm reading everything, right? So I told him, and I wanted to talk about this more off air, but we didn't get a chance. There are moments where the artist had drawn this thing running around or cocking its head a certain way,
Right.
where it reminded me of like pets that I've had before.
Hmm.
And it really, I don't think, I mean, yes, okay, I think about my dogs and cats that have passed away often, but not in a way where it like breaks me up. And this like broke me up. I was
Aw.
like, it's
Yeah.
like they were using my, two of my old, I don't want to say old cats, former cats.
X cats.
How do you refer to? I see. This is me not doing this, and then suddenly
two
I
of my
was doing
cats.
it. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was just really it was super emotional. It was like they were using him as a drawing reference, and I don't know. It's like sometimes like art is, it evokes emotion. It really does make you feel, but sometimes I don't know. I thought that was really deep. But anyway, just because we were talking about pets, sorry.
Oh shit.
No, thanks. I'm bummed out now. Yeah.
So how many cats have you killed?
I have one of my dogs. I have its collar hanging from my rear view in my Jeep, and somebody said, "Is that from a former pet?" And I said, "Yeah." And they go, "I figured." And I was like, "What gave it away? What do you think? I'm just hanging a random collar around my rear view because I thought it looked cool or something? Like,
In your
what do you think
defense,
that's from?
though,
Like
it
a
did look
current
cool.
pet?"
I had a different thought. Why would you have a collar in your car?
I'm not a perv.
That's
I mean, I
not
feel like
perverted.
30
That's a
minutes ago, we
sexual
confirmed
activity
that is
somebody
not true.
enjoys.
Listen, I'm just a traditional
No
pervert.
kink
No, I
shaming
like
here.
all the normal things. I like a zipper mask. I like to have my nuts stepped
There
on.
you go.
A
There,
standard pervert.
whatever.
So
Good
you're a
old-fashioned-
Democrat.
So there's oh yeah, he's a woke.
Hey,
nut
what about?
stumper.
Has anyone
Woke nut
covered
stumper.
the grinder crash after the
I
Republican
should
convention?
have.
They were all joking about Grindr being the most used app during the Republican convention.
So
I mean,
funny.
Super Bowl.
everyone. It's like just
This is so funny.
it's
Just
okay,
be who
you
you
guys.
are. I
Stop
know.
hiding it. Okay, unless
Yeah.
somehow hiding it is your kink, by all means. But like going around condemning stuff all the time that you obviously are,
Well,
that's got. I mean,
Can I
it's
say something
based in
controversial
religious
potentially?
problems.
Am I
No.
allowed? All
potentially.
right, so I
I
don't.
thought you
I
had
don't know.
ownership in this. If you have
I don't know.
ownership in this, you're allowed.
All right, so I do. So I don't know how my fellow queers would feel about this, but if you are like a gay sex worker in the Republican convention area, I feel like you have a duty to your fellow queers to out all these motherfuckers. I don't give a shit.
Kind
I
of.
don't care.
I don't
Oh, outing is the worst thing in the world. These are fucking Republicans, dude. Like, out them all, videotape it, show the fucking tapes online, live leak it. That's my
like,
that's my
All
call
right.
out there.
Now wait a
living
minute.
In Florida?
Is
What?
there not whether it's official or not, is there not a sort of, what do you call it? Almost like an oath of office for someone who's hooring it up. Where it's understood that you don't talk about it. It's like a doctor.
Republicans are the exception. Fuck them. Get
They're
rid of them. Throw them out.
professionals.
Exactly.
Yeah, going out there trying to
Yeah.
make it
It's
illegal.
a matter
the
of
rest of the
professional
time.
pride.
Exactly. They're trying to make your life not even just being gay or whatever. They're trying to make your whole life illegal. Out these motherfuckers.
I would argue that the honorable thing to do there would be to refuse service. To be like, oh, I know who you are. Go f yourself. You
They only
scumbag."
get beaten to death or something if that happens.
I think that the
Well,
best
then they
thing to
gotta explain.
do is to record them setting up the deal, and then you leak that, you show pictures. I agree with Andrea, absolutely out them. I wouldn't support like the releasing of the footage of them
Well,
like
hold it back. Like if you need to
performing
anything.
anything.
Blur it
But
out.
like I think that you absolutely have a responsibility to out them. And I know this is a pretty hot take for queer people, I would imagine. But look, I feel like I'm allowed to say that because I was outed myself. Out these motherfuckers.
Oh.
They need to be outed. Lindsey Graham, there's so much evidence out there. Why aren't you giving it to us?
Both
sex workers?
senators from South
Because
Carolina.
he's busy giving it to somebody else. The country.
You'd think South Carolina is the gayest state in the union. They got 2 for 2.
Just
Yeah,
wish
there's
they
a
would
lot of
live
gay
their
Republicans.
lives. Yeah,
Lots of gay
just
Republicans.
Be cool with yourself.
I know, it's very sad.
Yeah.
It
You know
is.
what's funny
Mhm.
is like the left is on your side here.
Yeah.
And they spend all their time being like, the left is woke. They're all bullshit. It's terrible what they want to do
I
to
know.
our kids. And then
Mhm.
behind closed doors, it's like,
Wasn't even
Come
closed
on,
doors
dude.
with Bridget Ziegler and her husband.
Right.
And they're having their 3 ways.
But
Well, guess
I mean,
what?
doesn't it?
Half of America probably does this shit. So
Yeah.
do it. So who cares?
Doesn't it just underline though that these people don't actually have like any guiding principles? They're literally just in it for money and power. If you're a Republican,
Yeah.
that's the only
Probably
reason
right.
you're there.
And
Mhm.
hypocrisy and control.
They don't care
Yep,
about
yep,
gay
yep.
people one way or the other. They're just happy to have like, oh yeah, they're
Well, look at Peter Thiel.
Mhm.
yeah.
He's a frightening person. He's one of the most frightening people.
Yeah.
They would hunt a waiter for sport. They don't care that they're a waiter. They're just like, oh, somebody I can harm? Sure. I don't give a
Well,
I'm a
who was
sociopath.
the name of that Republican who, when the marriage equality vote came up, the Respect for Marriage Act, he voted against it and then went to his son's wedding, son's gay wedding. It's like,
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
what is wrong with these people? I don't remember his name, but I just remember
Yeah.
thinking, like, what a
Monster.
freak! Like, if that were my dad, I'd be like, actually, fuck you. You don't get to come anymore. You're
Yeah.
disinvited.
wow.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
It's
Should
so
have been.
ridiculous.
I agree. He shouldn't be allowed to come anymore. 100%.
You're cut
That's
off.
what I'm saying. Refuse them service. Although I will say that Republican did have, this is lame and it's probably in bad taste to make light of it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. That and by means of apology, I'll drink some more of this. That Republican had a great excuse. If they're asking him about his hypocrisy, he'd be like, I don't want to pay for that. If I have an opportunity to get out of paying, what is it, 30 grand for a wedding by just voting, yeah. It's
Yeah.
not love. Not with these two. I know
So-
you're saying two guys can fall love. They can, sure, but not my son. He doesn't know what he's doing.
The new
You
thing,
gotta-
a new thing. Well, not a
That
new thing.
container,
They're just
man.
learning.
That is not good.
People on the right are saying that Project 2025 is not, and they're trying to pin it on Trump. They don't know what it is. Pin it on Trump, and that, oh, but we, the people, should be able to fight against that. They don't even know what it is, and they're trying to minimize the whole thing. So I'm trying to educate on that. Friends that
Good
I've known for a long time, and I've sent them a couple of really good videos. People just don't understand what's at stake. I think some of these
Yeah.
people that are on the right, but not so far right, if they learn about this properly, they might be mortified because they might realize they might be in a
Well, that's
class.
one of the fatal, like, or that's one of like the core, like, you, in order to be a right winger, you need to be either uneducated or lack the desire to educate. Like, the idea of like a right winger who is well read on the news is like that doesn't make any sense, you know?
Yeah, but
Mhm.
how? Yeah, well read, but there's so many that are Harvard educated, Yale educated. So if
But
they're,
yeah,
but
a lot of
they're
these
just
institutions
idiots.
are just like, you know, they try to be apolitical to the point where they're just like lying to you on purpose, you know?
Well, yeah, there are a lot of them are lawyers. Yeah, that's right
I
there.
think that the reason why you see Trump running away from it is because this is one of those documents where it's like, oh, it's not just going to impact like marginalized people. Like, this is going to affect a
Right.
lot of their base. They want to privatize Social
Yeah.
Security. If they came out and said we're going to privatize Social Security, you'd have Republicans in the streets and their mobility scooters rioting because that is not something that they
Not
want.
popular.
So that's why they're running away from it. But here's the thing, you can't really run away from it because there was already a different version of Project 2025, albeit less extreme. It was called the Mandate for Leadership back in 2016.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so Trump, he took their mandate for leadership and he implemented 64% of all their policy
Yep.
recommendations. So if he did even half of that, if he did 32% of Project 2025, that's it for democracy. Like, all he has to do
Yeah.
is 1%, Schedule F, turning all bureaucratic employees into political appointments so you can fire
Yep.
them. That's enough to crush democracy, at least for the foreseeable future. So
And
that's why they're
yeah.
running away from it, is because this is not popular even with their own base if they found out.
That's the idea. They should have just fucking kept it secret. The idea that this was
Yeah.
leaked, that is
Yeah.
huge mistake. What the fuck were these people? I thought these were like the super brain geniuses. You know what I mean? But like,
Well,
come on.
and the guy who wrote the foreword for Project 2025, the one that said that you have to designate
Kevin?
queer people as porn and then throw them
Mhm.
in jail, well, he is publishing a book that comes out in September, and guess who wrote the foreword for him? JD Vance.
Oh my
So
God.
they
Yeah.
cannot run away from this. It's too late.
I
There's
know,
too
the
many
Republicans-
videos of Trump praising the Heritage Foundation, and it's over for them with regard
like
to
just
that.
the sight of a queer person is pornographic to them. Like, I
Well,
love
I
that.
wonder. I wonder about Caitlyn Jenner. How is this person in the position, a spokes, so vocal in the Republican Party and not terrified?
Money.
Yeah, I would agree. It's probably just because she's rich, and if she needed to, she could
She
flee
could
the
leave.
country. Yeah, that would be my guess at least. It's always, it's economic solidarity above your own identity if you're a rich person. Like they have
Yes,
class solidarity way more than they have like LGBTQ solidarity.
it's
And
the
that goes for the other
OJ.
rich ones too that are very conservative.
It's the OJ theory of America. We learned in the 90s the order of operations. First and most important is whether or not you have money. Then it's what race you are. Then it's what gender you are, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Do you think the architects of Project 2025, we know that these fucking people are in cahoots with the Supreme Court justices off air, so to speak, right? Do you think that they were like, hey, we got to do the presidential immunity thing here because our plan is just that much more successful? And they were like, okay, isn't it that?
Yeah.
Is there a
I-
straight line there or what?
I think they are. This is their push. They know that if they don't make it this time, or if they do make it this time, they'll never make it again.
But
People are
is
getting
this-
sick of this. If
is
they
this-
don't make it this time, it's over. So they are. It's mask off. Like this is what they've always been trying to do a little bit. They're like, we got to go now because we either take over by force. As of now, we are the minority. We've already had to cheat to win constantly. We never
That's
win
the
the
2000.
popular vote. Yeah. And bear in mind, they actually did steal elections in, I think, North Carolina, actually. Like, they cheat consistently. They put thugs at polls consistently. There was a consent decree that kept Republicans from posting poll watchers because they literally couldn't be trusted. At this point, it's these Heritage Foundation folks, these Federalist Society folks. They know what's up, and they know their time is just about up. They're looking to go full fascist. They're
But
looking to hold us a gunpoint.
The Supreme Court is complicit in
course.
Project
Yeah,
2025.
when I
Oh
say
my
they, I'm
God,
including them.
these guys are from the Federalist
So why
Society.
wouldn't here's where I'm like feel like I'm being gaslighted. Anyway, how come the Democrats aren't freaking out about that? And I get that like AOC
They are.
and these people are. I know, but like all of them.
No, that's why Biden got tossed. Is because they finally this is the
They don't.
first they would have never done anything this bold against a centrist
we were-
Democrat.
Yeah.
Except that finally they're like, oh, our butts are on the line.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going actual fascism. Oh, they're going to throw us in prison. I was fine when it
this
was
is-
just black people and Mexicans and homosexuals and all of them getting killed. But when it's us, no, we got to take this seriously, gang. Come on.
Yeah,
I
they'd
think
be the
that's
first
true, yeah.
ones. Yeah, the opposition is the first to go in a fascist regime. So you don't want that domino to fall if you're in Congress right now. So that's why they know. For the first time, I think Democrats actually have a little bit of a fire under their ass.
Yeah.
And they want to win. At least the rich ones probably are a little bit insulated, but they don't want to have to leave the United States. If they don't have to, they like where they're at. So, they actually have a reason to win. I agree with everything Jake said for sure. I think that to your original question, Matt, I think that when it comes to collaboration between the Supreme Court and Project 2025, I think for sure these people are all at the same cocktail parties. I don't know if there's explicit collaboration, but to me, Project 2025 feels like the culmination of this effort by the right that they've had for a while to consolidate the executive because they've always really wanted an authoritarian strongman. And like Jake was saying, now is the time where they finally have somebody who's willing and ready in Donald Trump. And, they have the Supreme Court, they've taken over the judiciary. So the ducks are in a row. So I just think that it was always pointing to this, you can't just have a military coup in the United States like you can other countries. It'd be very difficult to pull off, but you can little by little, take over these institutions, dismantle the executive branch with Schedule F. And so, yeah, it kind of just feels like they're all thinking now or never, as Jake was saying. If we don't do this right now, we may not have another chance to do this.
I think a big thing also would be when Kamala Harris is president to take the tax exempt status away from these institutions that are clearly abusing the privilege of being tax-free and proselytizing their young people to be young fascists, because that's where the nucleus is in the the religious institutions.
What
from
about
way
G.I.
back.
Joe funding Cobra? It's
Yeah,
bizarre.
exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
So thank you for a reference that I totally understand, Jake. I appreciate that. So how about, this is what I like to imagine. So it's like all these fuckers who are like, yeah, we got this in the bag, Project 2025, Trump, Vance, Peter Thiel, Supreme Court. We're all texting each other all the time. Like, what are you doing this weekend? I don't know.
They literally are. Eric
Terrible
Quinn
shit.
from Blackwater, yeah.
And then Harris becomes a nominee. Are they all texting each other just like, fuck?
No.
I think
Yeah.
so. I
That's the
genuinely
thing
think
is
so.
Trump should not have
Maybe.
done that debate. That was his
100%.
worst decision of all time. If he didn't do that debate, Biden would still be in, and it would be Jover for us.
Right?
But now it's Jover
Yeah.
for
Right?
them.
Right?
He's the
true.
reverse Uno. We win.
Yeah, I
see
think all the women are going to get in the voting booth that have Trump husbands or whatever. They may be living in that situation, but they're going to get in that voting
We
booth. They're
still
gonna
live in
out.
a racist, misogynistic country.
Yeah,
You
but
know, I mean,
women-
people.
Oh, yeah. You've
I
got
saw that the white woman vote is like split 52, like 48 or something.
Good
Shout outs
shit.
to white women. You're making me look bad.
I mean,
Yeah.
white
Oh.
women these days, with how they've been showing their asses, I think that
DEI
there
women?
actually is going to be a lot of them get turned off. Like, there was some guy on Fox News who's calling Kamala Harris the original Haktua girl. It's like, this is what you honestly think of women? Like, if you're a
Wow.
Republican voter,
Disgusting.
you're not, like, I'm sorry,
Wow.
you're not going to stick around
That
with this
makes me want
party.
to vote for her. Like, I'm going to donate to this bitch's
No, I just
campaign.
don't think women are going to tell their families and they're going to vote against their families
Yeah.
for women's rights.
you can just see
Very big in
On-
women's rights on the line. I've been talking about this for months and months and months.
Mhm. And it's going to drive a wedge
And
between
I'm an
families.
environmental channel. I mean, I should be talking about more about what it's going to do to the EPA and regulations. And it's just I call it the party of extinction.
well, all
Yeah.
roads to
Accurate.
survival go through Republicans losing power, frankly.
Mhm.
And
You're
by
right.
the way, you can just see the two ends of the Republican spectrum. I don't know why I keep using the two kinds of Republicans reacting to Kamala Harris. There's the ones that are like the Mike Johnsons that are like, guys, please don't say anything bigoted. I know you think it. We all think it, but you're not supposed to say it. And then there's the other ones that are like, I don't know if I have a slur for an Indian. Should I be leaning into the Indian slurs or should I be leaning into the black slurs? There's so many trouble. There's so many conundrums here.
They're so
what a
drenched
fool.
in their privilege
Leaning
sometimes.
into
Like,
the lady stuff.
whenever I don't know who this guy was. There was some guy and his wife dancing to some band playing at the convention, and he was dancing like he was driving a car. It was horrible, and it was like,
Is
you
it the
have
Trump
no
Obviously, I said
sense of how you look. Hey, that opening tonight was badass, Jake. You're doing fine.
Yeah.
But this guy, it was like you are racist how you dance. You don't realize how awful this shit is when it comes out of your mouth. You think like, oh, this will be funny. I'll just say it because I thought it.
I know how
No.
you vote by how your hips move.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sort of.
Oh.
Anyway,
I can
yeah.
see how you vote. Yeah.
It's I love to think of them being like, well, we got close, but it's not gonna work. And yeah, okay. So now here's what, because obviously they're gonna regroup and they're gonna do something even worse. Are these architects of Project 2025, these horrible people behind the scenes, are they like, you know what? It's fucking Trump, dude. We got to get rid of him. We got to bring somebody
It
on
could
who's
be.
gonna, and not just like, we need a black woman too. They're gonna be like, we need somebody who everyone is gonna say, oh, he's not that bad. He's good.
I think
but then
they
he'll
might try
pull
to
off the
replace
exact same.
Vance.
I think they're gonna pull like some guy from the culture zeitgeist, like some internet's manosphere type, like Daily Wire type person. I think that's the most likely candidate. You know?
Not Caitlyn Jenner.
No.
Yeah, I would love to see that. That
Steven
would be amazing.
Crowder.
If and when Trump loses,
Ugh.
I'm sure they will try to replace him, but they will do so
Zodiac.
knowing that they won't succeed.
Well, the thing that people don't realize is Trump can run again if he loses.
Yeah.
That's
So,
crazy to me.
you know,
He probably will too.
But like, if
yeah.
Trump Jr. runs, I mean, that's the thing. Like, they really fucked
Oh.
themselves here. Like, if Trump Jr. runs, what are they going to do? Not vote for Trump Jr.? They have to. He's Trump Jr. You know.
Yeah, but he has
Oh,
have
I
to.
don't
You
know
know,
about that.
experience in anything. Neither one of
Dynasties
them.
are huge here.
I
Think
think
of all the
they-
Clintons and Bushes that have been
Yeah.
on tickets.
I think
Yeah,
the
true.
the super MAGA nutters like Trump Jr. just a little bit more than Trump does, which is to say not very much at all. So I don't think they're gonna feel
I
that
think
way
they would
about
vote for him though, because it's the virtue signal, like the right wing version of the virtue. Like they would vote for him, like because Trump's gonna die at some point. It's gonna happen, right? And when that happens, Trump Jr. is gonna be the guy that comes in.
Ugh.
Oh, my dad or
God.
whatever, blah blah blah, and they're
I don't
all
think
gonna
the flock
virtue
won't
signal
vote.
vote for him. I think that I don't. Is it going to be
I-
as much as Trump Senior? I don't think so, but there's going to be a notable block that's going to be like hardcore or in the
Don
Trump dynasty.
Jr. Don Jr.
I mean,
Not
Trump.
Eric.
Trump
Eric
is
said he
known.
wants to run and choose Vivek as his running mate.
Wow, Trump has been.
And Kimberly
been-
President right away, huh?
Gargoyle could go back. She could be the attorney general.
Trump has had money thrown
Kimberly
at him
Lipstick.
his whole life, but he has never
Yeah.
had money come
Right.
to him so easily
Oh,
as when he's had legal problems, like
Yeah.
and being a
Yeah.
politician. Like this should spell disaster for him. Like, dude, you're a failing politician and
And a businessman.
a convicted rapist and all this stuff, and we're supposed to give you money for your legal troubles, but it fucking works. He's getting so much cash from
related note,
From people.
Putin
It's just
just
unreal.
leased a used
Toby.
car.
he just leased a used car.
No, Putin did. I'm
Really?
implying that Putin is supplying
looking-
Trump with lots of money.
Okay, I was looking for a dad joke.
Oh, yeah, I
Got
was too.
distracted.
I was like,
It wasn't a good joke. It wasn't great. I could admit that.
it's all right, Jake.
You're
we
allowed to
love-
workshop.
we love
You can workshop.
Anyway. Yeah.
Everything I
At
say is
about
workshop.
500. It's still fine.
Well,
You're fine.
This whole show is a workshop.
exactly. We never have anything planned. We just
But
We plan on being unplanned.
I love it because my
That's the
my
plan.
show is so labor intensive.
Rah.
I love this. Love
So
Wednesday.
do
nights.
It's
you-
nice to let your hair down.
yeah. Oh
is.
man,
Just
What
bullshit.
little is left, indeed.
What hair?
up
Me too.
here.
What little is left
Yeah.
from all the stress? If she does
Oh,
win
God,
and
dude.
we can breathe and like for 6 months, I hope my hair grows back.
oh, everything gets better exponentially. But I think that for me, I get really like, as much as I love being on the show, like 2 seconds before we go live, I'm really excited. And
Yeah.
then it kind of comes down a little bit.
That's how
Once we start
dopamine
talking,
works.
you're like, oh, these assholes. Yeah.
No offense, but you have to actually like the camera comes on, it does something. But
Yeah, once the
I-
camera comes on, that's when my soul exits my body. The existential crisis mounts within my frontal lobe.
look, I don't know if Andrea realizes it, but I have been promoting, even on my members only live stream yesterday, I have been promoting Andrea's one of her takes from her stream last Friday.
I'm
all
aware.
weekend.
I'm aware
Mm.
of this. I'm sure it's not the COVID take. I mean,
Nope. And she went to bat for me because the Majority Report is still beefing with me. They're still upset at me,
Mm.
and she covered that on her show, which I really appreciated. Thank you.
so I got
need
so
the support.
many messages of people that, well, let's just say,
Dude.
I did a good job.
Unfortunate that Sam,
Let's just
Oh,
put it that
gosh.
way.
really falls down into these petty disputes. He can't rise above it. He can't not participate in a fight. You
I
got to
just
let it
say
go.
I like
Cedar.
to speak truth to power, and the most powerful leftist media conglomerate, the Majority Report, cease and desist letters against the letter hack. I will not stand for it.
Have you heard about this, Mike?
I've
is
heard a
real.
little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
getting
out
pretty
there.
Through the
serious.
grapevine, I'm sure people are talking. There's chattering.
Many
But
people
I
are
d-
saying it's very serious.
I did make a video with all kinds of like edits. Like I was putting things that were said 5 minutes earlier after other things. And I
So
zoom
you're
ins
saying is
and-
you lied? Is that what you said? Is that...
No, I'm just saying I edited a
You
video together, and then
lied.
somebody commented. Somebody commented on TikTok, and it's one of those comments where I didn't know if it was real or not, and then I was like, well, this
Dead
is
internet
just
theory?
it just ended up being like wholesome in a way. They said, I feel like this video is edited to make them look bad. And I was like, duh. But
Yeah.
what I said, my reply was, I don't know why anyone would think that I did edits and zoom ins just to make it sound a certain way other than it was. You know, I said something like
I'm
that.
insulted that you would even suggest such a
And
thing.
and they
I'm
replied,
insulted that you would say the truth so blatantly.
right. And they replied to that with, oh, my bad, I'm new to videos. And I was like,
Bot.
oh,
Oh no!
it's like, I don't know if you're being serious, but
Oh, Grandma found the
Gaslighting
fucking
them. I love
tablet
that.
again. Oh god damn it!
I was like, oh my God,
You have fucking destroyed someone's psyche for decades. They're
your
never gonna
great
recover.
grandson just introduced you to TikTok. Somehow
Mhm.
my video was the first one you saw.
And you've
New to
trained them
videos.
to be gullible too. Oh no.
It's already over.
Hey, Mike,
That's
are you on TikTok?
I am. I haven't posted in a really long time though. I was posting and then I just stopped. But I need
I
to
think
get
that's
back
the way
on
to
there.
do
I've
it.
never
Enjoy
done
TikTok.
that.
Ah.
I've never been on there. I can't even manage to get to Twitch.
I use TikTok
I mean,
quite a
we're
bit.
on Twitch, but nobody watches.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I use TikTok, but I don't really post very much. Like I really enjoy, like I'm following this lady who just got a pet bird and then she got like 10 more birds and it's really been an adventure, but I haven't been posting.
Oh, that's cool.
I was considering getting on
positive.
TikTok. I have a
Yeah.
younger sibling who has been begging me to get on TikTok for literally years.
You should.
Whoa.
You should. It's genuinely a fun app, and the algorithm is much better than YouTube's.
Really?
And you rarely see like, well, I shouldn't say that. Lately, I've been getting more fascist content recommended, but it's been like very rare. Whereas YouTube, it's like, I'll watch one Ben Shapiro video because I'm covering that for my show.
And then 41s get.
Yeah,
41
the sidebar.
Oh yeah,
Ben
I
Shapiro,
always
Ben
have to
Shapiro,
log
Ben
out
Shapiro.
when I do that horse shit. I don't want them to fuck my shit up.
Yeah. With
Erase
TikTok,
the-
it's much better. Like, it really knows what I want to see. Like, I specifically want to see, like, pictures or videos of, like, cats and dogs, like, slapping each other and playing. I want to
Yes,
see people
of course.
adopting animals and reacting to it.
Thank you very much.
And just goofy shit. So it's a much better
Well,
algorithm, I
that's
think.
the perfect.
Is there like a
that's
video game setting on there? Can I
Yeah.
show my Doom speed runs on TikTok. Will people watch?
Hell
those?
yeah.
I think they would, yeah. I mean, I found a lot of Elden Ring content and like good places to farm when the game was out, and then I kind of like lost interest and then it realized right away that I was like done looking for that kind of content, just stopped recommending it. It's
Oh,
really
that's
good. Like
awesome.
Well,
I
it's not
enjoy TikTok.
illegal yet. It's
I
not
can't-
illegal yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
I
I
won't.
cannot tell
I'm
you.
waiting until it becomes illegal because then that's when I'm motivated to use it.
I just
It
wonder if
bummed
that-
me out
as a-
so much to hear you be
climate-
like, it's really good. There's not that much fascist content on it. Like, oh.
I watch. I think I showed a couple of videos recently on this show, but I've been watching those ships, those ocean liners out at sea when it's really stormy and the
Oh,
waves
yeah.
are just gigantic. I've just been watching those endlessly. I
interesting.
can't believe there's so many of them.
I'm
Hey,
such a basic
That's
B. I watch
interesting.
that Rockstar guy constantly. His name is Rockstar, but the O's are spelled with X's. All the vowels are spelled with X's, I guess. And he just does animal voices. Like that old America's Funniest Home Videos, basically. But he does animal voices. But he knocks it out of the park. The man's a specialist. I could watch those for hours, and I have.
I love
Hey,
that.
I'm wondering,
I'm a
Mike, is this
gardening
a compliment?
Oh yeah, zero.
Okay.
Yeah, every like the
That's
first
so
Friday of every month, I'll do a Zoom call with
Wow.
like patrons, and we just shoot the shit for like
Wow.
5 hours and just talk about random
Whoa.
stuff. And
Really?
So chill.
Yeah,
We got
yeah, it's
three
very
and a
fun.
half
Really
hours left.
hands-on. Holy shit.
It's a
Yeah,
really
it's
good
very
idea.
fun.
Yeah,
Everybody
that's
jumps on
up.
camera. We're all talking over each other, just like
My
Leftist Mafia. It's very
God.
fun.
That's awesome.
Great. I didn't even know you did that. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's
I
so much
like
fun. I've been
that.
doing it since 2017, and what's crazy is that like
Wow.
back then, when it was newer, there was like there's these two kids that were just graduating high school, and I'm like, yeah, this is so cool. Now they'll check in every once in a while, like they're almost done with college. Some
Oh,
have graduated
wow.
college. It's like this is
That's
like it's like I'm
amazing.
uncle to them, and I feel
Yeah.
old now from this. But
Aw.
yeah, it's been really fun.
So you do this with your Patreon people. and it's a private
Yeah.
thing, and that's
Yeah, all the
great.
poor viewers.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, if you pay for access, $5 per month, then once you get in, but then you're in forever after that, because once you
Yeah.
join, then you get access to like a little, when you come to the Zoom meeting,
I really
then
like that.
I'll add you to like our Twitter group chat, and I'll send the Zoom link there, so that way if you cancel, you can still come. So that way it's not like, oh, you have to pay the
Okay.
$5 if you want to talk to me. I'm very
Yeah.
special. But it's
My-
really
You're in
fun
the
though.
club.
That's good.
Yeah.
My community has a lot, not my channel necessarily, but my community has a lot of Zoom and a lot of support networks because we deal with the heaviest topics on the planet. As Jake always says, and your shows are scary and horrible and awful. Well, because I do science shows and,
Yeah.
you know,
The science ain't good.
You make them interesting too, which
climate.
is nice.
Well, of course. Yes.
It's like if somebody's like the doctor's giving you their cancer diagnosis, but they're like, "Shh." It's
Well, we
stage
are.
4.
We're in planetary hospice. I mean, we really are. But I
It's
won't
the
go
hottest
there.
day on Earth of all time. Like on
That's
Sunday,
my
I think.
show yesterday. Yeah, the global average temperature, which is taken from a different atmospheric level at 2 meters and the sea, and they average the temperature, and it was the highest. Now you have to remember
I'm
that.
sweating just thinking about it.
Well, it's winter in parts of the world, and it's summer in parts of the world. So the global average, it was like Fahrenheit 65 or 66, but that's high, taken into consideration.
You
the
know,
rest of the
like
planet.
Anti shout outs
real
to
quick.
Fahrenheit. Fuck that shit.
Sandy, you've
I know,
got
I
to
do
use that
filthy.
phrase often. That's such a good phrase. Planetary hospice. Holy.
It's not mine. It was Dr. Guy McPherson. I mean, there's a lot of
Well,
us,
take
you
credit
know.
for it.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not
No, it's
taking
just
credit
for
something I
popularizing it
didn't
at
Well,
do.
I'll take it and take credit for it.
Be
if
like
you want.
Elvis was, the rock and
Out
roll.
of the doomosphere. Okay, I can popularize it out of the doomosphere. Mike,
There you go.
we are in the doomosphere when you talk. about-
As a representative of the Doomosphere, the
Mhm.
video game,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we need to have some sort of legal copyright issue here. You know, a bunch of
Oh, I thought you
scientists-
were
have ever played
anti-copyright.
Doom? Hey, I'm pro copyright when it comes to me winning. That's what I'm pro copyright.
Oh, copywriting winning. Look, when you said it's winter in parts of the world, it always makes me think about how like it's Christmas in summer in Australia, and I'm like, why don't they just wait for winter to have Christmas? But look, here's a comment that I
agree.
want to reply to. Has Mike talked about his book? Guess what? You can go back and watch Mike and my conversation/interview about
We
that
were
book
not
from
invited
just
to that,
recently, and
did a whole
everyone
show
was
about it,
invited
yeah.
to watch it. And
There you go.
yeah, go back and
Yeah.
check that
And
out.
myself were
It's a great
snubbed.
book.
How long did it take you to write? And how did you find the time?
Yeah.
It took me probably about 6 months to write it from start to finish, and another 5 months to do the second version, or second edition, I should say.
Wow.
Didn't you
And I had to work on it on the weekends for the 5 months.
Okay.
Basically,
Didn't you say
every
it's-
weekend.
So you
It
were really
started as
really-
like a thesis, and then you're just like, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, it was just a graduate paper.
Yeah.
And then
Really?
Just a graduate paper.
yeah, and then I did a little bit
Wow.
more, turned it into a thesis, and then it became a book. So yeah, I've been working on it for a really long
Well,
time.
this is great.
Yeah,
That's cool,
yeah.
dude.
I,
Yeah.
look-
That's
I look
awesome.
forward to that.
Great timing too.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Aside from
Perfect.
the month you released it, also just this day and age, boy,
There's-
a good time to learn about this.
Do you
There's-
do autograph
yeah.
copies?
I haven't done that. I don't know how to like do that in
Sign
a
your
way
name?
that is easy.
I'll show you.
Could
I'll
I
have to
ask
figure it out.
Could I
Get a
ask for an
stamp
autograph
made.
copy, and then you write that this is the first autographed copy, and then that's mine? Is
I
that
can
possible?
how
I'll pay
about
for
this?
it.
Hit me up afterwards and I'll send you a copy and I'll sign it.
I'll
That's
pay
cool,
for it.
dude.
Is
Wow,
it free?
generous.
'Cause I'm
Yeah,
willing to pay
yeah,
for it.
I've done that. I've done that for a couple of people. I have a couple of copies left that I can send out.
Can you like
Yeah,
specifically sign it and say this is the first time I've ever autographed anything whatsoever? Is that possible?
I can, yeah, that's possible.
Well,
for
hey,
sure.
Andrea, if you want, I can sign Mike's book for you and send it to you as well. So I'm just throwing that
how about
out
this?
there.
How about this?
Like-
Mike, you sign the book, send it to Matt. He'll sign the book, and then he'll send it to me. If anyone
There
else
we
wants to
go.
sign it.
Yeah,
I could do
let's
that.
just
Yeah.
treat it. You know what? Let's just every time a leftist writes a book, let's just treat it like a yearbook, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Send it around the circles.
Have a great
Yeah,
summer.
yeah,
Van Halen
thanks.
rocks. The letter hack. Just
I love that.
I
hey,
like that.
here's a
Sure.
comment. Mike, did you watch anybody? Want to take a shot?
Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind.
Yeah, I'll take a shot. Hold on.
Dusika.
It was mentioned on
on
Leftist Mafia, Miyazaki. Have you seen that, Mike?
No, I have not seen that yet.
Well,
to
it's
check it out
badass.
that
You
time.
can.
It is
I don't know if
cool,
you have
but
Max, but it's
I'm
I do
becoming
have
more and
Max.
more against people pushing fun media on other folks. And this comes from somebody who does it like for a living. I do it. But like there's too much stuff. There's too much
Yeah.
stuff out there. You'll never see it all.
The
Oh,
problem
yes, I
is
will.
I'm stuck on One Piece, and I'll be there for at least another half year,
Yeah.
probably.
Oh,
I'm like
yeah.
When you're
episode
49.
650. What are you?
No, I'll see you when you're 49.
Oh yeah, right.
and you're
Yeah,
caught up.
I'm on episode like 650 of 1200, so I'm not gonna watch anything else until I finish that. Like maybe
I was
I'll watch
reading
Game of
One
Thrones here and
Piece
there, but
when I was a kid, and when I was young, I had to choose between Naruto and One Piece because I couldn't afford both, and I chose Naruto. So I got a lot of catching up to go on One Piece. I'm scared. There's like a fucking 200 novels now.
Yeah,
there's
that One Piece is
so
nuts.
much.
Are
Yeah,
they up to 1,000 episodes
they're
yet?
up to 1200 now.
So here's the
It's
thing,
so
like
much.
sometimes I won't be able to like do an entire series, maybe 3-4 season series. So I'll say, what are the top episodes? Like I'll figure that out, like find like a good list here, the best ones. I'll do those.
Can you really do
and
that
then,
with a shonen though? I mean, like, come on, like the
No.
best episodes, you need all the context. That's what makes them so good. Like, imagine
No,
watching
you
Goku go
can't.
Super Saiyan and you don't even know who Goku is. You know,
By the
like,
way-
come on.
Yeah.
By the
point.
way, do you know what shonen means? Shonen manga. Shonen
I do, but only
anime?
because I watched your stream. So
From Monday means boy. Now it's expanded, but back in the day it was just boy.
Oh, I
There's
didn't know
different
that. Interesting.
subcategories, yeah. And there
For
was
specifically young boys.
Shonen
Right.
Jump was a
Hmm.
famous like phone book size anthology.
I love
of
cartoons made
manga.
for young boys. I'm 28 years old and a woman, by the way.
Now it's broad. Anybody now it just kind of means action or that kind of stuff. But there's all these different subcategories, and my guest
Excuse me,
Monday has
28-year-old
written
broad is
encyclopedias
the
about
correct
it.
term.
Thank you very much for that clarification.
I think you should all read The Ministry for the Future.
Oh, thank
which is
you.
Climate
Anti
fiction.
thank you for My Dogs Are Goth. Anti thank you.
I'm celebrating 21 super chats already tonight.
God damn, what?
Fire.
How
If
long
I
are we
go on my
going?
channel, I
Are we
better
gonna
have
go long enough to justify
a
me getting more
healthy
wine?
amount.
Should I get more?
Let me see
You
this.
should always get more. That's always
Andrea,
All
if
right,
you're
I've
here,
heard
I'm
it.
here.
I've heard at least.
Oh, you know what? I totally forgot. I don't know how we got derailed. I mean, yes, I do. That's what we do here. But I was talking about, and Andrea will have to come back and talk about it. But I was talking about how I was celebrating one of her best takes on a topic lately, where I didn't know how to feel, and I don't know if we want to get into it or not, because I mean, the news moves so fast. This is sort of
last week.
done now. Yeah, it's donezo. But
Yeah.
just something I had not heard anyone else remark on in quite the same way. The potential reasons for AOC and Bernie Sanders supporting Joe Biden at the end there. And Andrea's take was just when she said it, I was like, there you go. I mean, it's like with fiction, you can write your way out of anything. So there's always like another potential reason for something, right? So yeah, I just thought she nailed it. And I don't did you go back and watch that, Jake? I clipped
Are you
it.
talking
I
about
mean,
her
Hello?
take where she was saying it's their fight?
What?
Andrea, can you quickly, if you want to, quickly give us your excellent take, in my opinion, on why AOC and Bernie Sanders were supporting Joe
Did
Biden?
I come back to the right show?
Yeah. And I mean, I clipped it. I could just play the clip, or you
Yeah,
since
just
you're
play
here.
the clip.
Well, yeah. Okay, so if Bernie
the
or
clip.
AOC went on anti-Biden, then the narrative would shift to jealous. I mean, for Bernie especially, because he ran against Biden, it would be jealous Bernie. You know, wants revenge on Biden. It would distract from the narrative. You know, I know AOC made her like long Instagram. I didn't care to watch that. She may have come up with some other shit, but AOC is a player. She knows what's going on. She she will hold things back. She will lie to her audience, and that's people don't like her for that. People like her for that, but that's what she does. She's a player,
kinda
you
like
know,
her.
like she's going in the game. That's what her goal is. So I think it's very possible both of them were anti-Biden, but like they knew if they publicly were anti-Biden that would cause a rupture. So yeah, let the centrists take care of it.
Yeah,
The
and at
super
that
friends
Let the
got the job
centrists
done.
take care of it.
And at the point, who would
Yeah.
they have been pro at the time? You know.
Yeah, that's a great point as well, Sandy. Like, for the same reason that the Democrats were, I should say the centrist Dems were freaking out and finally getting involved, progressives already knew what was up. We already were taking all this stuff seriously. And for us, it's like, yeah, it's a centrist Dem who may or may not win. Who are they going to get replaced with? Not one of us, another centrist Dem. F it. We can play games here because we don't have any horse in this race, basically.
I mean,
Yeah, like I was saying before, I was coconut pilled until the moment that it was Jover, you know? Like I have done my job. Mike says he's still part of the coconut army. That's
I'm
fine.
definitely
That's all
still
well and
coconut
good.
Oh, for
pilled.
sure. Me
But
too.
I have dropped the coconuts. I'm climbing back up the tree. You know, like that's my there you go.
I was saying to myself, it's politics. They're politicians. I don't know why the fuck they're doing this. It's
So
annoying,
many
but I
leftists
don't know.
online,
And
like
then
literally did like they will say
people
like we
flip.
don't believe politicians. We don't believe politicians. But when it's AOC, they believe politicians all of a sudden, and they'll take everything at face value, and they don't know how politics is played. I don't know. The AOC industrial complex. I don't know, man. Give me a break with
But
that
I'll
one.
take the fury too. Like Vanguard was flipping out. Okay, yeah, go ahead, flip out. I don't care.
I think
Politicians
that
have to
people,
receive that.
yeah,
I'll
with
take
regard to
her.
Bernie, I think people underestimate that he really is friends with Joe Biden. Like
Yes,
he's
and he
actually
pushed him
friends.
to the
Like he
pushed
has
him to the
no
left.
friends in Congress. His one friend has been Joe Biden, and like I have a source
How
who's
is
close
Bernie
to
not killed
Bernie,
himself yet?
that Bernie like just hangs out with Joe Biden.
Oh,
Like they go on trips. Like they're actually legitimately friends.
oh,
So Bernie's ride or die for that reason. It's why he didn't want to attack him in
That's adorable.
2020.
he's riding with
He
Biden.
probably wouldn't have run against him in 2016.
Oh.
But they're actually genuine buddies, unfortunately.
Well, I think it's sweet. I mean, I'm
That's why you
trying not
never
to
want
think
a
about my
single point of
neighbors'
failure.
slaughtered families, but it's still sweet. Like, oh,
Yeah, but Bernie did push
There's greater
him, I
things at
think.
stake than their friendship,
Mhm.
right?
you
Like,
see
come
No,
on,
Did
guys.
you see Bernie's video
get it.
about Netanyahu? Holy shit, it was good. Not
Mhm.
about
didn't.
not going. Of course, like how many people were in the Senate when he made his speech? 10, 5.
Yeah.
But it was so good. It was on social media. I shared it to Twitter because it was outstanding.
Mhm.
He laid out the whole thing. And then, he was also on one of the late night hosts, and he basically said, "We're not a democracy. We're an oligarchy." He's been saying it for a long time, but he said it on
Hell
a
yeah.
late night show and
Hell yeah.
saying that's why we have to fight for not to even go farther away from what we are.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah, he's
still
still
got
great.
it.
I agree
He's
with you,
still got
Sandy. I
it.
think he's still great. Like we can nitpick here and there, and I
I'm
have
not
disagreements with
nitpicking
him.
him.
I was really frustrated that he didn't call for a ceasefire. But I mean, like when Bernie is no longer a senator, when he
Right.
retires, we're gonna feel it. Like we're gonna
Yeah.
feel his
Right.
absence for sure.
My
So
first
like,
vote ever was for Bernie Sanders. That was my first election, 2016.
oh really? I love that.
2016, I
That's-
voted for
wow.
Bernie, and
My
Good
mom
one.
too. My mom was in her 60s, and that was her first vote. Bernie
Solidarity.
2016.
No shit.
What? Hell
Yeah.
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 Little Kitsmith there. That's excellent.
Mhm. Yeah, Bernie brought out a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When I
man.
saw him in Buffalo, 1 million Canadians came down to see him. They were so
Really?
I got to
excited.
shake Bernie's
Yeah.
hand at one point. I went to a Bernie rally. It smelled like weed, and I was also high,
It
and
was
I shook his
great.
hand. It was awesome. Shout outs to
I-
Bernie Sanders.
I was so
Yeah.
upset because I couldn't attend the Bernie rally in Portland. And that was the iconic rally where the bird had flown up on the podium.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
damn,
oh
we
my
missed that.
God.
Oh yeah.
I can't, like, I was really
Yep.
busy. I was like,
You're
I
gonna
did not have
regret
time. I
that
was
for
in
the.
school.
You're gonna be on your deathbed. You're gonna be thinking about that goddamn bird.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was really, really upset because I was like, I didn't watch it live, but afterwards I'm like, oh my God, how did I miss this? This sucks. But yeah.
We were
Oh.
kind of cultish a little bit. My girlfriend had us made heart necklaces in blue that said Bernie 2016. I mean, I was like wearing it riding my Harley. I swear to God, I'm
Hell
wearing my
yeah.
Bernie.
I love
was.
that.
It matched.
I totally believe this. I mean, Trump is just a
Yeah.
dumb fuck. Oh my God, he's
Yeah.
dumb. Okay, here's
Trump
the
is
thing.
honestly, he's
I don't
just
know where
too
that came
fucking
from.
old. He's too old.
But
Now,
I agree.
I've said this before, but COVID has been known to accelerate dementia by up to 7 years per year per COVID infection. So when you got these guys, they're getting COVID once, twice, thrice, and they're already demented. Like these
Did
motherfuckers were
Bernie-
demented before the pandemic, you know?
Bernie ever
already
get
over.
COVID? I don't know.
I think he got it. Yeah, he got it
Oh.
once, and
Oh,
he
he
did
did
that whole
get it?
bullshit.
Oh,
I have mild symptoms. I am fine.
I think here's the thing. If
I
this
like
is
the
a this
Bernie.
is a huge flaw, even in like people with the best of intentions.
Alright.
And I caught myself doing this at a very young age, and ever since have been like, do not be that guy. Saying things that pop into your head as if no one has ever thought them is the worst thing you can do, right? Like saying
And but you
things out
think you're
loud,
a
like,
genius, the brain
like-
genius.
what about, think about it for a second, right? Like, I
about
can't tell you
Building a
how,
moat at the
Ah.
southern border and filling it with snakes and alligators.
or like
you hear
injecting
that one?
glitch, or getting
Yeah.
UV rays inside of us, or whatever
Yeah.
that crap,
Yeah,
crazy crap was.
there you go.
But like people, like I say, people with the best of intentions will do this, where they say things that it's like it obvious things that like, okay, yeah, dude, I'm like, somebody was talking to me about, when you own a house, it's going to be blah blah blah, and I'm like, I've owned a house for 23 years. The fuck are you talking about, dude? I know. You know what I mean? Like, you're just saying it because you just learned it. So I took it easy on that person, but on the inside, I'm like, who do you think you are? Like, you're the only one that knows about owning homes? Like, this is, and banking and stuff? This is ridiculous. But Trump is the epitome of that, because
Oh yeah.
it's mostly like ego. Like, we all have ego,
Mhm.
but this guy is like egomaniac. Like, I always like to remind people, he has always had someone who worked for him provide him with newspaper and magazine
Everything.
clippings every day where his name was mentioned. And he's not reading articles, he's reading little
Right.
clips of himself being mentioned.
Mhm.
Like, he's been that guy for a long time. So of course,
Narc
like,
in chief.
yeah, I mean,
When he was on Twitter, he was the type of guy that would like name search himself and then get
Yeah.
mad.
yeah,
The tweets that come up.
Oh my God.
yeah.
Oh,
But
we could do this for hours.
but like, I work with kids now, right? And I can't tell you,
So they're a little more
people-
mature than he is. Yeah.
Oh, by far. People with the best of intentions keep telling me, Matt, kids carry a lot of germs. And I'm like, you have to be qualified to work with kids before you start working with them, right? I know about, and plus, like, I'm 50 this year. Oh,
you think
kids
that's the
carry
first
germs?
time I'm hearing this? Really?
But it's like, I appreciate that, but give me a little bit of credit. I don't. Anyway,
Everybody loves to think that they are super insightful when really we're all just kind of like feeding off of each other and semi-plagiarizing each other's thoughts when we don't even realize it,
Hey,
I
speak
feel
for
like
yourself,
why-
we're all
buddy.
just sort of like
Clip that.
relying off each other and
Hundreds of
taking from
thousands of
each
YouTube
other's
subscribers
ideas without even
mid-flying.
being aware of it,
Yeah.
this is why I do
yeah.
an interview show. I'm trying to just listen a lot.
Mhm.
But so yeah, but then on the other hand, I am guilty of sitting here talking about stuff that is also very obvious and just dumb. So what goes around comes around. It's 11:56 p.m. on the East Coast. Just to let you know, it's almost Thursday. So if anyone has anywhere to be, feel free to
Well-
scoot. I'm here as long as you're
I
here.
don't have a date.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna
Uh,
happen again.
I do
Sandy's
wanna-
been dating MAGA.
No,
Yeah.
I went on one
Not
date.
on purpose.
Oh my God.
I say convert them.
I say never gonna talk to him. There you go.
Okay, remember that too. What's
No,
up, Jake?
It's called block.
Oh, I just wanted to introduce Mike to a long-standing tradition of the show. Mike, are you familiar with the
Ah,
No, it's called a Jake sit. That's a Jake sit.
Jason.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Well, thank
Nobody
you all
else
so
has one.
much for having me. I can't
Oh,
do an
yeah, dude.
Irish exit or a jexit, but I appreciate you all so much for
That was
inviting me on.
fun. That was
Yeah,
fun.
man. Anytime. Open
You didn't
This is
invite.
your
simulcast
gift.
this to your channel?
Oh my god, I
that's
love
great.
that.
You didn't want to
That's so
embarrass
cool.
yourself and put us
Happen.
on your channel?
Oh yeah, sorry, man. You could have simulcast if you.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. Yeah,
Take the
yeah, I'll do
risk.
that next time for sure. Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
yeah. I
think
probably do
that-
it to Twitch because I'm trying to like build up my numbers on Twitch. But yeah,
That would be cool.
I love that, Andrea.
Teach me when you learn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
look.
really good.
I got
we
a
got
new
the
set of
sleeping-
markers, so I'm
Yeah.
going crazy now.
You
Hell
even
yeah.
got the whole background vibe going there. Look at that.
That's amazing. I kind of
Yeah.
look like Squidward. I love it.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear that fucking Tom Kenny has confirmed SpongeBob is autistic?
Oh,
Oh.
really?
Shout outs to SpongeBob. Yep, he's officially autistic.
Hell yeah.
Andrea just debuted or revealed that she bought some original background art from SpongeBob.
Hold on, I'll go grab it. real
Original
quick.
background art?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Just amazing. I forget the character's name, but
Okay.
they have a phonograph. They
That's
play
cool.
records, and she bought a painting of I think it's a phonograph. And like the character and the record would be separate, because you'd animate them separately, but
Oh,
pretty
okay.
cool. And I mean, I'm a person that buys comic book art, so I really appreciate when people
Hold on.
do this sort of stuff.
Hold on. I destroyed.
I
my
bought a
whole
page
setup.
from an old Archie
Oh
comic
no.
recently.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, and it's
camera's
got like
falling.
every one of the characters on the page.
Wow.
Oh, that's
They-
Pretty
neat.
cool.
Yeah, they were on their way to radio controlled car racing convention.
Oh, wow.
The gang, and I was like, this is just too cool not to have. There you go. Look how
Oh,
awesome.
that's
Oh,
awesome.
you framed it. Right
Little
on.
plankton. Wow,
Isn't
that's
that
so
cute?
cool.
It is. It's really
original
cute.
production background by the
No
animators.
kidding.
This is
Super
the one out
cool.
of one. There's only one in existence.
How'd you get that?
I bought it on the internet.
That's cool.
Wow,
That's a good
That's
find.
amazing.
Yeah.
So
I also
cool.
got a Ten Shinhan, which is up here from D-Ball. I got my Ten Shinhan.
Oh, okay, I see. That is too cool. I love that. Nice. I'm
Badass.
curious by all the stuff in the background. You'll have to do a room tour. Same
Oh
with you,
my
Sandy. I
God.
see some books too. I'm always curious.
Oh,
If I did a room tour, it would take hours, man.
every end of the world for fucked book of science there is.
I love
Just some
I
light
love
reading.
looking at studios and stuff like that for artists. I should
Yeah, Matt,
start
yours
trying
is
to do
too.
a segment for people who like live stream, like show us
Do
around
it
your
like
studio.
MTV
Yeah.
Cribs or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah,
But,
Matt,
like, for
I'm curious
artists.
too in your room because I know you have all the cool like comic book stuff as well, all the merch, like the collectibles, some good
Yeah, he
manga. That'd be
does.
cool.
He always has a lot to look at behind him.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
he
very
does.
awesome.
I add to it a lot too. I don't know if people notice that, but
Oh, I add to my background every day
I
as
love
well.
that.
I
don't know
don't.
if
I
people
just have to. I have a hard enough time dusting it.
Oh,
Unless
you know what?
well,
Garbage Pail Kids. I remember that from when I was really young, Matt. That poster on your wall.
Well, that's the custom
Garbage
version.
Pail
That's
oh,
Kids.
those
the
are
one-
lefties.
That's the one. Oh, okay, that's the one you. I love
Yeah,
that. Oh, I can
lefty
think I
one.
remember you sharing
With-
that actually on Twitter or somewhere.
I
David
think I'm in
Doe,
there.
they're cute.
Bile Kalinsky.
Oh my
Mm.
god.
Matt's so good. He's very talented.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, he is. Very.
Trying to see if I have any like. there's a little
My
too many
favorite part of the
TYT people
background
on there.
Of Matt's is the monkeys. I'm a huge fan of the monkeys.
Hmm.
Every time I look at the monkeys, I want to know those monkeys.
Screaming
I want to
monkeys.
meet those monkeys.
Is there any like
Speaking of monkeys, I watched Battle for
significant
the
stuff?
Planet of the Apes.
Oh, how was
sorry.
that?
That was great.
I want to see that.
A friend of mine took that picture in Africa.
Oh,
And he's like, yeah, I got some photos that I took, and I was like, I want to buy that one just because they're monkeys screaming and they're like one's giving the other a piggyback ride. I think it's very funny. Andrea has
Yeah.
she twisted around her head as to what's going on there. She's doing like fanfic for it.
I mean,
They're just buddies.
it's a photograph that it's 1,000 words. You know, like I want to know all the words.
Oh,
I want
yeah.
to know like the whole story. I want to know where those monkeys were born. I want to know about their grandparents. I want to know about like the tadpoles that gave life to us as well. I want to know about our
fiction.
common ancestors. I'm very interested in those monkeys. Do you think they're still alive? You think only one's alive? Like how old is that photo?
Oh, they've become magical beings. I'm sure. I don't know.
Are
That
you familiar
photo
with
is
monkey
pretty old.
magic?
I used to have that photo in my office at a corporate job, and people would come in and be like, "What's that photo?" And I'm like, "What do you need?" I'm just like, "Fuck you."
Don't fucking
This
ask
job
about my
sucks.
monkeys.
I'll put up whatever I want in here. Check this picture out that I just added. Can you see this? It's a Doberman sitting in front of a mailbox in
Yeah.
a VW bus. This
Is that a
up front-
Polaroid?
No, but it is traditional film. I just
Yep.
added that to the background because I was thinking I have to travel for yet another funeral. So I'm going back to Maryland, my hometown, Annapolis, again for this. And it was somebody who lived in this house. And that was 407 Merriman Road. And
Marry Me Road.
and there was like it was
Merry Me Road.
a party house. It was one of the coolest places to ever live. There were like so many roommates. Like we made a joke that our voicemail was like a half an hour long. It was crazy. You couldn't just push one to go to your party or whatever. So anyway, this dog was Rosie, and that was the day I moved to Colorado. So that was May 27th, 1999. And or something like that. And anyway, her name was Beth. For a while, she was the only woman living in the house, so we called it Beth and Her Merry Men. And so I was reminded of that, and I was reminded of this photo, and I got really sentimental, so I just wanted it nearby. But that Doberman, Rosie, we would have a birthday party for her, and it was like one of the biggest parties. It was just like this
I
goofy
love that.
excuse to have a massive, massive party. It was a big split level house. Just ragers all the time. There was always like a couple of dozen people in the house.
I'm just imagining
24/7.
you going around like, "Hey, you coming to the dog's birthday party? Fuck yeah, I'm gonna be there." Like,
You should have seen our Groundhog Day party. Like
ah,
we would find any reason. We would play Groundhog Day in the background just on a loop. And, oh my god, we would just go crazy. Those parties were so good.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah, parties
go-
of
I
the
love that.
old.
I'm gonna go back and see all those folks for the first time. A lot of them for the first time in like since 1999,
When are you going?
Wow.
August 9th.
I'm going out to Eugene in September.
Oh,
Eugene, Oregon.
cool.
I'm going to the West Coast.
Wow.
Yeah, I wish I
Nice.
could stay longer, but
Very
I
laid
have-
back. Mike, do
yeah.
you get to Eugene?
No, it's pretty far from where I am.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
I love
My
Portland. That's a
brother's
great
there.
town. I
My
got to get back
Portland's
there.
great. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I kind of derailed it. I don't know if anybody was
are y'all
trying
trying to
to
leave? Because
bail.
I thought we were doing a 5-hour show.
I'm not. Oh no, I don't have enough. I didn't get another drink. Well, mine's vitamin water.
When are we going to talk about video games? We got gamers here. Where the
Oh
gamers at?
yeah. Well, once they start with video games, I say good night.
Oh. we
And
can
then
talk about
everybody
board
else-
games.
Board games. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I
you.
used to make my own board games. I used to draw them on large, like fucking. My grandpa had this fucking like this big paper thing, like an easel, but with paper. I don't know what the fuck it's called. It's just large ass. I used to take those bitches. I would draw board games. I draw Doom levels when I was like 7 years old. I love drawing board games and level stuff.
That's awesome.
That
I
is
teach that.
actually. You're
I-
creative as hell.
I have a whole
Andrea.
curriculum around teaching how to make board games.
Really?
It's very fun. It's super creative because then you make the board game and that's like the level design. Then you make the rules and that's always fun. Then you can like have each space. It's always very very fascinating. I have a notebook
Universe
full of board
building.
games
No
like
kidding.
somewhere in one of my closets.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
That is cool, Andrea. We didn't know that about you.
When I was a
I
kid,
know.
we used to-
I'm always rediscovering parts of myself and then sharing.
That's way. It's wild.
Have you ever drawn like mazes, like on graph paper?
Absolutely. Well,
Oh,
graph paper, I would draw
that's the
Doom
kind of thing
levels
you
and
just-
Wolfenstein
No.
levels.
Get lost
That's
for
so
days
cool.
drawing elaborate mazes. So fun.
Nope.
I would make little roller coasters with twisty ties.
We literally
Oh,
have.
Like I
that's
would take
amazing.
them
graph
and I would
paper
like
for-
make like a little 3D model.
My mom
That's
worked at a
awesome.
grocery
Yeah,
store.
Melvin.
So my mom would take me to her job, which was at an Acme, which is a grocery
sorry.
store. And I would just sometimes I'd walk around the store and I would just those twist tie things, I would take them
Yeah.
all out. I literally would just grab them with
Oh.
both hands. And then I would make these like sculptures out of them and I would leave them around the grocery store. Like I would go to like the bread aisle. I would take some bread out, leave some of the sculptures behind the bread. I got yelled at so bad for that. My mom beat my ass for that shit. She was a piece of shit.
Uh-oh.
But like, it was fun at the time. I was having a great time just being let loose in the grocery store. Ooh.
That's
Let
hilarious.
loose.
That's
Let
so.
loose.
I would be really bad in the store as well when I was young. Like I didn't know that when you press like the service buttons, that somebody would come. I just would like the sound it would make, or like customer service, and so I pressed that all the time. And then I felt like as I got older, I'm like, oh my god, that's really fucked up because you're making some minimum wage worker. But I mean, I didn't really know any better. Like as soon as I could reach them, I'm like,
Didn't know any better.
yeah.
Because my mom worked at the grocery store. One time I got to use the intercom,
Oh.
and that was exciting. That was a big moment.
The intercom day, huh?
That was a
Mhm.
big moment. I got to hear my voice on the intercom. There's like a short delay to it. It's very strange.
Oh, yeah. It is weird. When I worked at Walmart, nobody wanted to use the intercom. I worked in electronics, so I would always have to do like the announcements, like if we're closing or something, and I don't know why it never really bothered me because like it's just Walmart. There's like 20 people here. Like who cares? But it's fun though for some reason. It brings out like that
when you're
child thing in
in
you where
front,
it's like,
yeah,
oh,
like
I'm on the intercom.
when I was like 7 or 8, it was a huge deal. Like the music, like there's
Mm-hmm.
that radio, grocery radio that turns off for a second.
Yep.
Oh shit, everyone's listening to me. I could say anything.
You
Oh,
have
man.
power. You could, everybody's listening.
If I
Nobody
could
can't
time
hear
travel,
you.
I would go back in time and I would use that moment. That would start the revolution right there. And I was 7
There
years
you
old.
go.
That's how it would have started. If I ever invented a time
Revolution.
machine,
Everybody riot. Worker sees the means of production. That'd be
Exactly.
amazing. That's how it can start, I don't
Yeah,
know
well,
if they
there
really
you
have
go.
intercoms. Well, no, they
True.
have intercoms, but like I don't ever hear it going off now whenever I'm in the store.
I haven't gone to a store in years.
I don't hardly ever go to
I
stores.
don't know.
That's part of the
Actually,
problem is I
yeah,
rarely go.
did last week for the first time in forever.
Yeah, that's part of the problem is I don't really know what goes on.
All right, well, it's my turn to Jake's it.
Yeah, I'll jump off too. It was nice talking to you all.
I
Oh,
had
you
a
guys.
wonderful time.
fuck.
Mike, thank you. If you ever get to check out anything on my channel, there's a music video called McCarthy's. It's a Doom video that I made. It's a music video.
I love Doom.
collaborated-
Oh, I'll
I
check it out.
collaborated with these guys the guy from Ireland wrote it. Germany did the audio and I did all the video, put it together. It's
Oh, I'm
yeah.
excited to see
Maybe
this. Yeah, I'll
send
check that
it to
out.
you.
Yeah,
And-
yeah, send it
And
to
maybe
me.
my last show. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Somebody tell me how to send something to him.
Mike, I sent you a DM about that book.
Okay.
All
Can
right,
you
I'll
send me
do
a
that.
DM, Sandy? Are you on
Yeah,
Twitter?
Yeah, I can do
Or-
that.
let me make sure. What's your Twitter handle, Sandy? Just to make sure I'm following you.
Environmental Coffee House.
I'm pretty sure I'm.
ENVIRN. Yeah, Environmental Coffee House. That's the Twitter handle. And then it says Sandy, because I have a team of other people and I don't want to be speaking for them.
Oh yeah, I'm following you. So yeah,
right.
shoot me a DM.
Okay, cool. Yay. All right.
Mike,
Good.
thanks so much for coming on.
Good
So
night.
Thanks so
awesome, man.
much, everyone.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
Take
Peace
care.
out.
See ya.
Love you
Chill
guys.
out,
Bye,
Yeah.
Sandy.
Bye.
See ya.
etc. This is not the end of the show, though, unless
of course
unless
not. They
Letterhack
stay on
wants to
all
pull
night.
some fucking.
We'll stay.
They
We'll
stay
stay.
out all night on our
Yeah,
channel.
we got to read the
Bye.
super chats.
All
We
right,
got
well,
to
you
fucking.
enjoy.
I got to
All right.
finish my
ya.
wine. I got to fucking get these guys out of here.
So,
Why am I zoomed in? Zoom me
There
out.
we go,
I don't
there
wanna
we go.
see myself. I saw like the way my teeth looked, and now I have flashbacks.
I had this great moment that I keep thinking about often with Sandy before one of our recent shows where I just sit here listening to music as you noticed earlier tonight, and I put it up on screen in case anybody wants to listen, and she and I were just singing Elton John together, and it was like an 8-minute song. It was one of these long ones, and we were just sitting
Was there
there.
a duet? Were you taking turns, or was it simultaneous?
Well, technically there were 3 of us singing because we're you know,
Right.
Elton
That's
John.
right. That's
Elton
correct.
was
He
singing
was
too.
there. He was leading the charge.
It's just so fun. It's just this is what I mean, like, before the
Collective
show is
effervescence.
yeah, it's just really, the whole before the show, during the show, after the show, it's just this isn't just an obligation for us where we log on and say, "All right, let's do this. Let's do the news.
Hey,
Now we're
speak for
out of here."
yourself. Speak for yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I show up at
Yeah.
9:59 every.
You like that Fugazi song though, right?
Yeah, it's good.
Bum, 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 bum,
I heard
bum,
like
bum,
20
bum, bum,
seconds and then
bum, bum, bum,
I
bum,
went to go
bum.
prepare myself, but yeah.
Have you ever heard of an old Baltimore punk band, Lungfish?
No, I have not.
They're great. I've been listening to an album of theirs from 1994, and it could have been made today. It is
Send
so
me
good.
send me some reminder because I'm drunk, so I'm gonna forget this. So send me like a reminder and I'll check it out.
Will do. So, what's going on?
What's going on? I'm learning how to draw again, you know.
You know how to draw. What do you mean learning again? You're just
Well,
drawing.
I
It's
go
always
through
practice.
periods. Yeah, like I go through periods where I don't draw anything for months. And then I do like a lot of rapid improvement. This is how all of my hobbies work, you know. Like I do speed runs, I do like the political show, I like to do level design, I'm working on games, you know. So every hobby I do, I just like dedicate months to it every day. I'm just like going crazy at it and I make a lot of improvement and then I leave it alone for like years, you know. So, but yeah, I'm learning how to draw. This is, you know, I drew this one. And if anyone didn't see it, I drew this one earlier. You know, I'm just trying to fuck
Awesome.
around.
I
Nothing
think
too
I
serious.
look
I like
great
doing like
in that.
cartoony bullshit. So,
Hey,
yeah.
preaching to the choir here. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I know. I have been doing
Shout
a
out to the
lot.
cartoonist for the left.
Exactamundo. I have been doing a lot of. Okay, so everyone knows I like to do creative writing. It's creative cross training for me. And I haven't been drawing a lot lately because I've been writing a ton. And I'm almost finished with my next novella, which I can't believe that'd be 2 in a year. And
That's
a
good.
short story, which I feel like for a guy who's not a writer, like that's kind of a lot of writing. But
It's
I
not
am
bad.
so happy with this. May mean that nobody else will like it, but I am so happy with this one story I'm writing right now. Like I am very happy with it, which is just weird because normally I hate all my shit.
Well, that's
And
for
then,
me.
know,
My experience is that like usually like the first X amount of things, the first 50, the first 100, you're not going to really enjoy. But then like when you hit that thing the first time you really enjoy something, like that is God tier. Because then
yes.
that's when you become addicted to it.
So I knew what the ending. I knew it's not a traditional kind of story, and I knew how I wanted the ending to kind of go, but I didn't know what the end was going to be. I had an idea formulating for the ending, but not the end. And I was like, maybe it'll write itself. And it fucking did. And so I came up with it like last night. Like, there's this technique if you're stressed about something, just think about your creative writing project or do a creative writing project, and it just takes your mind off it. Right. So as I was going to bed, and I'm not this kind of person anymore, but I was like kind of stressing about something as I was trying to fall asleep. And I was like, oh, give me a break. So I started thinking about the ending to my story and it came to me and I was like, there it is. So now this is so fun. I can write the ending and then go back and fill in the last couple of chapters because it's not filler, but it's sort of, it might as well
Yeah,
be.
you got to get there.
Yeah. Like it's not directly related. It's not like a series of events that lead to the end. It's more like a real life thing where the end just is something that happens at the end and that's why it's the end. But anyway, I'm having a lot of fun doing that. So for you doing like your world building and your universe creating with video games, it's got to be kind of a similar thing, right? Where you're like, ooh, maybe I'll do this. And then when you come up with an idea, that sort of triggers a new idea for something else.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like when I make, I do a lot of mods. Most of the mods and stuff I do is for Doom because that's my favorite game, and it's also like I've been trying to I'm working on a Fallout New Vegas mod, but that's really complicated. That software is really annoying. But Doom, like the iterative process between like you have an idea and you get it out there, like you can create something, and then once you see it visually in like a 3D space, then it's like that opens the matrix, you know, like then you can see, okay, well, what if I put a window right there? A window would be nice, you know, love a good window, you know, like that kind of stuff. And yeah, like one, you know, and then it's just like every time you do that, you add a window. Well, what if I put a landscape outside the window? Oh, what if I put like, you know, some crashed spaceship outside the window, you know, and you just keep going iteratively from point to point. Yeah. Like once you get like a certain basis on any creative project, you know, like that, you know, where gravity kind of just takes hold, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Inertia. Is that a word?
I think. What do
What
I
is
look
that,
like? I
Latin?
read books.
What
Do
is
I
that
look like I read books?
How come science words are Latin? That makes no sense.
Fuck science. Science got us into this mess.
Every time. So what do you got going on Friday? Do another live show? That was a treat.
Yeah,
last
did you
week.
enjoy that?
Yeah, I was like, people in the chat were like, "Is this live?" And I was like, "You don't know how many times I resisted putting that in the chat on my own. Is this really
yeah.
live? Is this happening?"
Well, yeah, I mean, I did one thing, you know, I've also been learning music. I've been writing music, so you know, every above it all, I like to do like one of those 5 to 10 minutes. I just fuck around. I have no idea what I'm doing when I go into that. But like, yeah, last week I tried to do like the classic style, you know, because you're always telling me like, oh, this specific sound font, this is the one, you know. So I tried to do that. But as far as this Friday,
What do
I
you
don't know what
mean?
I'm gonna do.
The specific? You mean
That one, yeah. Shout outs to the PlayStation 1.
I love this.
Yeah. That is not my song, by the way. Like, you know, because when I started doing the show, I just ripped songs from video games that I liked. But like my audience didn't know anything about video games. So I just like every above it all, I would change the song in the intro. And that was the one that people liked. And every time that one came on in the rotation, people freaked out. So then that became the intro. But then, you know, I'm also writing my own music. So I like to intersperse my own music in and around that. I've also modified that song a couple hundred times at this point.
There was one where I guess you had a strike. It was one of these bullshit unfair strikes, and you were off air for a while.
It was like 2 weeks, yeah.
And that felt, I mean, this is 2020. It felt like a
Yep.
long fucking
That's when I was
time.
doing a daily show, so yeah.
It might have been 2021, but it felt like a long time. So then when you came back, everyone's sitting there, like me and the whole chat, we're all sitting there. We're like, this is fucking it, man. And we're ready for that song to kick in. But you did a version of it that was like, dun, dun. It was so slow.
It was like, yeah,
epic.
20% speed. Yeah.
I was just like, oh, this is epic. I was like,
exactly.
oh, wow. Yeah. This is like, I'm back, motherfuckers, kind of intro music, right? It was so good. That was so good. And then
like that's the thing is I like the idea of doing an intro. Like, you know, I get that from the idea of doing an intro I got from the combination of I love intros in animation, like cartoons, you know, or just any TV show. But then also I really enjoyed the Michael Brooks show where they would have the intro with the sound drops and they would change the music a lot. So those are two of the things that I synthesized for my intro sequence, where it's like, yeah, every time I want it to be slightly different, you know, like so that it's not the same thing every time, but like every time, like, because I want to make you listen for what the changes are, you know? So like when you notice that it changes every time, then you pay more attention. It's not just something that you ignore for the first 10 minutes. At least that's what I'm going for, you know. I mean, I could be failing in my goal, which is very likely. I would even say it's the most likely outcome.
So somewhere in the middle of this show tonight, you thought you heard something. at one point. And I saw
No,
like on your
no.
face, you were like, "What the fuck?"
I had a psychotic break from reality, or you're trolling me. Those are the two options.
How am
I
I
don't know which
trolling
one it
you?
is. I'm 50-50. I don't know. Maybe I need to see a doctor. They're dumb.
That's on my soundboard now.
What is the context? What was I talking about? They're dumb. They are. I mean, that's true. I agree.
It was from that take you had on AOC, and you said, so if you see any of these lefty commies online talking about it, just know that they're dumb. They're stupid. They're dumb. They're dumb. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was watching that on the treadmill, and I almost fell off. I was laughing so hard. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to
Well, that's
fall
good
and break
news.
my neck.
That's good news.
Yeah, it was really fun. So now that's, I'll have plenty of opportunity. Somebody will be talking about voters or something, and I'll go, you know what it
They're
is.
dumb.
So
Jesus. But it is
Or-
true. Like my disdain for the average American is unrelenting. Like, and it, as you know, a lot of
Tell me
people
about
say
it.
you gotta, as you grow, you gotta learn to forgive. I at this point in my life, I'm going in the opposite direction. I resent the average person. I do not like the average person. The average person has made my life miserable just by being a fucking loser. Just the people like, let's hundreds of years ago, like if people just got their shit together and fixed the fucking world, I wouldn't be in this fucking mess in the first place. Like everyone just goes along to get along. No one wants to talk about the real issues. No, everyone's afraid to talk about things that might upset them. I just hate that garbage. I don't like the average person. So
I think one of the main things that has contributed to everything that's not good about our nation is throughout history when people go, you know what I think? Fuck you.
Don't give
and
a shit what you think.
What are you talking? You just
And then it's
you
also
personally?
the conflation
Are you
of
kidding?
opinion and fact. Like when people say, well, what I think, and then they just say some stupid bullshit that got debunked in 1943. Like what you don't think that's just wrong. Like I think the grass is purple that's not an opinion. You're just fucking dumb. You're wrong. You're stupid. But that applies to so many things. Like when someone's right wing, they're just dumb. They're just fucking dumb. It's not. Exactly. It's not a difference of opinion. You don't have you didn't think about it in a different way. You're just fucking stupid. You're fucking dumb. You believe easily debunked propaganda. You don't know how to do your own research, even though you love to claim it, all the time. They're just dumb. They're dumb motherfuckers. I hate how dumb people are. It really upsets me.
Yeah, and it's different than going, I think what we might want to consider is like saying I think, that's fine. It's when like this happens every time I talk to somebody who's not obsessed with politics and the news. Whenever we talk about the presidency or the upcoming presidential election, they'll go, well, I think, and I just stop them and go, hey, no offense, I really don't give a fuck what you think. Are you a presidential historian? Do you vote? Are you who cares what you think? This isn't about you. And
you ever watch
if it is,
those
where's that
town
gotten us?
hall voter focus group things that they do where they get 10 voters in a room and then ask them a bunch of
I
questions?
hate that. It's
Oh
focus
my
group
god!
bullshit.
Imagine watching that video and then coming to any conclusion other than they're fucking dumb. These are fucking stupid motherfuckers. But that's the other thing too. And I get it. I'm in a privileged position. I work from home. My job is making YouTube videos and that kind of shit. So I get it. I'm in a privileged position. I can sit around all day and read about shit. But just the idea that someone would be working every day and they have no drive to improve their situation in any capacity, it drives me insane. Why are people choosing to work in dead-end jobs? Their lives fucking suck. They're depressed all the time. Don't we all agree? Can we just fucking do something about this? It drives me insane.
LT9K in the was it him? Oh no, it was Latino Mufuni. I think he's talking about Michael Brooks here. I have often thought about, of course, I would have invited Michael Brooks onto the show, right? But I've invited everyone, so that makes sense. I've thought about it before. I'd much
You just
rather
gotta wait for AI to get no.
No. And I've thought about this with like exactly one other person who I won't mention, but I would rather them be viewers of the show than come on the show. If it would be like it is such an honor to have people on the show, like it, anybody that I've interviewed, but to know that they watch it, that's different. And I think that would have been very cool if he watched the show.
He probably
And
would have
other
been. He was
people,
very into the small timers.
oh, right. And no one's smaller timer than this guy.
Well, I mean, like he died in 2020, and that was around when I started my show. And yeah, like I talked to him one time in a direct conversation. He was like, yeah, that's cool, keep it up, and like, like that's just really cool. I don't know, it's cool stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I would have had him on the show in a heartbeat. Okay, so guess what I'm doing next week?
I refuse.
Then I'll tell you. Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Washington State primary candidates. Time 3, Annie Fitzgerald coming back on the show.
Excellent.
This primary is August 6th. So we got to get these people's names out there. So Annie Fitzgerald, progressive and DSA candidate. Jason Call, who is Jill Stein campaign manager, but also running for Washington District 2. He'll be on. Green Party candidate, obviously. And Andre Stackhouse, also Green Party candidate, running for governor of Washington State. So they're coming on Monday. Now, Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern is the Arizona primary, and we'll be looking at District 3 in particular.
Are we having any potential guests that may or may not legally be allowed to be named?
It's going to be my buddy John.
And where is he based out of?
San Antonio. See how I spread that out? You'd have to clip and edit that.
And we know that the people watching that are not above doing such a thing.
Right. So that's the special guest, but also co-host Jake Drogelis, who you might know as your old pal Jake. He's going to be on the show as well. And that's the first of 3 that we have planned. We're going to be doing Corey Bush on August 6th and Ilhan Omar on the 13th. But on this show, 1 week from tonight, Conan Neutron.
Oh, what the fuck? You didn't tell me that.
From Protonic Reversal and Movie Night Extravaganza. That guy's been podcasting for like...
We got to get him to play some tunes for us.
that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
I love his song Wild Antics. Have you heard that?
I got to check out more of his original music.
It's off. He's always got new albums coming out. It's fairly recent album.
It's crazy.
It's great. I've
That's
played
exciting.
that song. That's one of those songs you can drive around and sing to. So
I will check it out.
Yeah, the lyrics are I might be crazy, but crazy is all I got.
I agree. So, that resonates. Literally me first.
Yeah, it's like sometimes crazy's all I got. It's really good. So anyway, he'll be on the show 1 week from tonight. So that will be fun. That will also be fun. And then I'm gonna have another famous, like huge famous comic book writer on the show and his mom. They are collaborating on a new book. So they'll be on. Matt Kind and Margie Kind. They will be on. That's going to be cool. And yeah, so I'm not sweating it. Actually kind of busy. Oh, and I'm working on a new lie detector. What do you think?
I think you're telling the truth.
Should I do it? Is what? Not if it's a lie.
Oh.
Like I'm gonna build in a lie detector episode. I haven't done one in a while. So
yeah, I mean, I personally, those are the ones I look forward to. So
Oh, okay. Cool. So I have one of those planned. Might do a random call in, something.
when are we gonna do a call-in show for Left Past 10?
Interesting. That's a
Maybe like,
potentially
not
big audience.
yeah, but not not every week. Maybe once a month, possibly, maybe even less frequently. Theoretically, I'm just throwing it out there.
It would be like when was the last time you called 4 people?
Say that
When was the
again.
last time you called to talk to 4 people? Like, how do we handle, like, they just become the 5th guest for
Well,
their call?
they just say whatever they want. You get 10 minutes or whatever, and then yeah. I assume people who would want to call. I mean, we could ask the audience. Is anyone here? Is this thing on? Are we live? I mean, we can ask them.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that
sorry.
possible?
Did I not tell you we were live? We're live. We've been live since about 10 p.m.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
this
This
was all
whole
the
thing has been
pre-show.
live.
Oh,
Sorry. Ooh, embarrassing.
shit.
Yikes. Do you take it all back?
No. I only take some of it back.
Good news is no one's going to think of us any differently.
That's true. I've already destroyed my reputation with everybody, so everyone knows how deranged I am to some degree.
Yeah, but would people want to call in? I wonder. Okay, for my lie detector, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 stories lined up. A mix of true and lies. And I need to get it down to, I was going to do 3 this time. I normally do 4. Sometimes I do 4 with a bonus round. Sometimes I do just a 5th question. But I was thinking about getting it down to 3. So do you want to help? Do you want to just like randomly pick numbers between 1 and 6? I need 3.
9. Upside down.
Try again.
9 upside down.
Okay, number 6. That's in there. All right.
1.2.
I'm rounding down. That's in there. All right, give me another one.
3.50 repeating.
So I'm rounding up. Oh, cool. Okay, so okay. All right, so I have enough for 2 shows now. I might do one of them 2 lies, 1 truth. No, 2 truths. 2 truths. 1
Say that
lie.
again. 2 what?
Truth.
What the fuck?
Say truth, plural.
Truths.
Truths.
Did I say it fucked up, or is it just you? I don't know.
Truths.
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 Yeah, like Donald Trump.
I don't think I've
loves-
ever said that.
Donald Trump has multiple truths a day on truthsocial.org.
Truths. Truths.
I just posted 17 truths.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I think anyone who I have like one firm opinion about everyone on Truth Social.
They're dumb. That reminds me, like
burn.
one of the previous
Ooh,
incarnations
burn.
of Truth Social, like the right-wing social media websites. I used to make accounts on those because it was really fun to just interact with those people. I remember I made an account on one of these called Gab. This is like, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. And I had like my Gab post or whatever was like the #1 post on the entire website for like weeks and weeks. And my post was like, "Hello, I am transgender and I have come here to ask people how they feel about the issue. If anyone wants to debate it, feel free to send me a message." And I'm not even joking. I had over tens of thousands of comments. I had thousands of right wingers that wanted to fuck me and they were like sending me dick pics. It was pretty incredible. You know, I had people like, it was insane. I had so many people. I got a couple people actually that I actually invited on my show at the time. This was before Above It All. I had a different show back then. So, but like, that was so fun. I love going in sometimes to the hornet's nest and just seeing what these people are about, you know, like it's interesting to me. It's like picking up a rock and looking at the ants, you know?
Is there any chance it was called Beneath Nothing? Because that is kind of a good name for a show.
Beneath Nothing. No.
Above It All, Beneath Nothing.
No.
That's a good name for a show.
It is. That's like the future, you know, like when I fake my own death and then come back 10 years later, that's going to be the show.
Where are you going to go for 10 years?
I'm going to go
nowhere,
beneath
just
nothing.
not be online.
I'm going beneath nothing. That's where I'm going.
Where's that?
I'll decide later. Make it up as I go.
Okay. Anyway, how long are we going to drag this out?
Do we have super chats to get to?
20 to 1. I've been putting them all up.
All right.
This whole time. We're done.
Did we miss any?
Dunzo.
I'm looking. Yeah, I don't know how do you check super chats on this website? I don't know.
You don't.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I don't, just for the audience, just for their sake, I am not the producer of this show. So it's not me. If I miss something, it's not me. In fact, it's you. You should have super chatted harder.
And I am just producer in name only. I mean, let's not get twisted. I don't
Yeah,
really
I
know
mean,
what
you're
I'm
a horrible producer. Let's be real.
just sort of pushing buttons and see what happens.
Yeah, that's the thing. This show really has no producer. Like, I'm qualified, but I just choose not to do it. I'm not, you know, why the fuck would I do it? All right. I'm gonna look at my super chats. What do we got here? Spent $5 to say, oh, shout outs to Kavo, Doom Speedrunner. Everyone follow Kavo. Yeah, let me show the SpongeBob again. I got a frame. Ow. I got a frame. Check this out.
So cool.
You know, I'm planning on getting more of these at some point, but they are expensive. So you gotta factor that in. What do we got?
My Archie Comics page.
Oh shit! Is this is this an original?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You can see all of the little like spell check notes that they had all over it and stuff.
Excellent.
It's hand lettered, which is
let me
like
zoom
amazing.
it in on the lettering again. Let me see that. Really? You're telling me someone really?
Yeah. That's
how
how
do you
they did
write
it
like
back in the
that?
day. I mean, some people still do it that way, but
I mean, just like the writing looks really good.
Sometimes you can see where they've drawn lines, like ruled lines, like measured it out, and then it's a means of typing in all cap or writing in all caps. It's just something that you like. Engineers are very good at
my
it.
grandpa
dad
was an
really
engineer, so he would write in all caps. So I picked up that habit. When I write things down, I usually write it in all caps.
That's really cool. My handwriting sucks, and it only gets worse the more I use computers and phones and stuff.
My handwriting, I have a dream journal, so every morning, usually, unless I don't dream, but I have a very overactive imagination. So unless I'm high as fuck, I usually dream. So every morning I practice my handwriting by writing in the dream journal while not being able to see. Right. So like I'm just writing without the lights on because I just don't have a light. I don't want to turn any lights on. So I'm just writing it. So in the morning, a lot of the times it's like slanted, but like it's legible. It's pretty good. And it's like it's decent practice to write without seeing what you're writing in real time. It's also when you're tired as shit, you just wake up.
Are you a fan of Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Never seen it. I think we had this conversation. It's on my list, but I've never seen it yet.
There is a scene where somebody's like talking about wanting to what they aspire to, their dreams. And they say, "Do you have any dreams, Pee-wee?" And he goes, "Yeah, there's this snake wearing a vest and he's rolling this giant donut." And she's like, "No, not those kind of dreams."
I tell you, my dream, I wish I had dreams like that. My dreams are fucking horrible. Like every dream I have, I die in incredibly painful ways.
No, I've been dreaming I'm going
horrifying.
blind.
Like
I'm
dream
trying to
that my teeth are falling
look at
out.
my phone. I can't see my phone, and then I look
Yep.
around and everything's blurred. Oh my god, I can't do it.
Yep.
Your
It's
teeth are
horrifying.
falling out? That's terrifying.
Yeah, my eye. Well, I've had a dream recently where my eyeballs just like fell out of my eye sockets, and I had to like put them back in. But then like I put them in too hard, and it got stuck inside. So I was like seeing the tunnel of my eye socket. Yeah, don't even give me. It's really bad. That's one of the other things. A lot of people they say like they dream in saturation or whatever, or desaturated. Do you experience that at all? No, I've had this conversation with many people, and a lot of people they say they don't dream in full color.
No, it's full color. Yeah, everything.
Yeah, for me,
regular.
like dreams are 100% indistinguishable from real life, and it's caused me many problems. I don't know if this is like a mental disorder of some kind, but I've had many times where I've been awake and I think it's a dream, and then vice versa. That's why I love lucid dreaming so much because I have a natural tendency to do that. But like, yeah, I mean. They're 100%. I've had dreams that have lasted like Inception, they've lasted for like, I've had dreams where I've aged, decades and it feels like it's happening. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm still something.
Yeah, that's when you dream that a long period of time has gone by, even if it's like you're wasting an hour just trying to find something so you can leave the house and you're late, whatever it is, or it's like a lifetime and then you wake up and it's been like a few minutes. That's what I don't put too much thought into this because I don't know how to go about logically
I will teach you dream therapy. I've
but
studied this.
Well, to me it's like there's something more there.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing about like when you write your dreams down, right? It makes it so every time you dream subsequently, you get more information out of it. Right. So it's like if you write your dreams down meticulously
just conspiracy theory type stuff.
I mean, it might be, but like for me, like I've always had a very active imagination when it comes to dreams, right? So it's like, but when I started writing them down meticulously, the first month, it's like a couple sentences per night. But then every once in a while, I have a dream where it's like it takes me 7 pages to get through all the events. And then like I read back the dream, and then sometimes like I'll read them before I sleep sometimes, and I can fall back into the dream. So before, like when I was in high school, I had a very abusive childhood growing up. So like I would often escape into fantasy worlds, right? But yeah, when I was in like high school, I would have like a dream life that I had like every night. I would think about this fantasy dream world, and I would live in an alternate world in my own head. That maybe explains a lot about me. I don't know, but yeah, so I'm very well trained on like the longevity of dreams and like how they're windows into the subconscious and all that kind of bullshit.
I have like weed was a real dream suppressor, and I love
that's
that.
my biggest problem with it. If it didn't suppress dreams, like when I first got addicted to weed, I did it because of that reason. because I had nightmares. I wanted to kill myself and I couldn't escape the nightmares. I couldn't sleep. I had insomnia. And so then weed was a lifesaver. But then over time, as I was processing all of that horseshit, now I hate, like that's the word. Like whenever I get high, I like to do it in the morning so that by the time I sleep, I'm sober so I can dream.
Yeah, well, I sobered up and all the dreams came back, and now I can't sleep, and I'm like, this is some bullshit. And like, I kind of have a problem with like the most stressful thoughts I have, the most ridiculous like things that when I'm awake, I'm like, that shit doesn't bother me. It's stupid. I don't think about stuff like that. I like to focus on the real deal. But when I'm asleep, here comes all the dumb shit I would never sweat or think about at all. It's all that goes on in my head.
Well, here's
Give me a fucking
I
break.
don't know if we've talked about this much or recently, but have you ever done supplements that change the way your dreams work?
Not on purpose.
Well, okay, so I would recommend if you're interested in learning more about your dreams, the two supplements I enjoy the most are mugwort and Salea zakatachichi. These are herbs you can buy on the internet and put them into capsules. And if you eat them before bed, it will change the way your dreams work. So mugwort, for example, makes your dreams more vivid and realistic.
Isn't that
So
Harry
like
Potter?
colors, huh?
Isn't that from Harry Potter?
Probably. I don't know. I've never read Harry Potter. It's a very common herb. Like you can find mugwort growing out of the crack in a sidewalk.
We probably have this shit in my house.
I would imagine, yeah. I mean, ask your wife about it or something. I don't know. Like you can cook with that stuff too. So I mean, it's also. But anyway, mugwort makes your dreams more vivid. The colors are more like saturated. I've seen people who claim to have desaturation in dreams, and then they take mugwort and it makes them more full color, right? But if your dreams are already full color, then mugwort's going to go even crazier. And Salea zakatachichi is often used in indigenous rituals in Mexico. So it's called the Mexican dream herb. And
What's that mean?
I don't know what it means. But it's referred to as the Mexican dream herb.
Spell it.
Salea zakatachichi. CELEAZACECHI. No, I forgot a TE in there somewhere. I'm drunk. Why am I doing a spelling bee when I'm drunk? Give me a fucking, what are you, a cop? Give me a goddamn
I'm
break.
just saying, there has to be a very important meaning behind that word for it to be so involved.
Yeah, well, it's good. Salea zakatachichi for me is my favorite herb for dreams. And there's a couple other ones, but these are my top two. That one makes it so your dreams are longer. Like there's more
Ooh,
density
I don't need
of.
that.
Well, it's interesting because it's
I want
more.
them to go away.
Well, see, you're running away for the rest of your life.
No,
Or
I
you
think
can
about
take-
crazy shit
you
on
can
my
tame
own.
the beast. You can tame the beast and get it over with, or you can keep running. But yeah, like density. Like I remember one time when I first did Salea zakatachichi, I was doing it for a whole week. And like, yeah, dreams were longer than my actual waking days. Like every night I would have like 30, 40 hours. It would be like 2 or 3 days worth of events. And it was, yeah, I guess, if you're prone to psychosis, maybe these are not things you should think about. But
this is what I'm saying. This was literally the only withdrawal symptoms I had.
well, the reason why weed withdrawal has intense dreams is because dreams are ways that your brain processes emotions on a daily basis. And so you suppress dreams for a long period of time, they come back because dreams have always been there, but like your subconscious and conscious minds haven't been aligned in a way where you can interpret them as easily. So basically, like your dreams are going crazy and you don't know what's happening because you're not remembering them because of the short-term memory loss and long-term memory loss of weed, right? So like when you actually see your dreams again, it's basically like if you had like a dog who was a puppy and they weren't potty trained, and then like 12 years go by and then, they're still not potty trained and they just peed all over the house or something. Just imagine a world where a dog's in your house for 12 years unattended to. But like, that's essentially what weed withdrawal dreams are, is that your dreams are going crazy and you're just not there to take care of them. So like when you're actually aware of them again, they're just out of control.
You got to see Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I can't believe you haven't seen that movie.
I will check it out.
Now, when this movie came out, I was a kid. And I was obsessed with this movie. I was obsessed. I watched it over and over and over. And then I realized a friend of mine was watching it over and over and over. So we would watch it over and over and over together and then separately. It was highly quotable. It is highly quotable. It's the kind of thing where, did you see my chair just fall?
Are you all right?
Yeah, but
You know that computer chair gas pumps in some capacities can explode and kill you? There have been 3 deaths recorded by computer chair or office chair gas pumps exploding. And when they explode, it's essentially it bursts into your asshole and rips your body apart.
my closet door is open.
Give me a fucking break with this. You see this horse shit that we're dealing with?
This
Nah.
happened once before. I was just telling somebody about this. It's
Mm.
2 folding doors. What?
It was open the whole time. You opened it earlier and you forgot.
Andrea, I am obsessed with turning the light on, opening it, closing it, turning the light off. And right now, one of the doors is open, and I always open them both together. I don't open one. And the shirt I have on would have been on the left side, and the right side door is open. And my
Likely
chair just
story.
fell for no.
Well,
I don't
first of all,
care if
we
anybody
can't
believes
see,
me.
We cannot see the closet door. Second of all, we know you paused your webcam in the middle of the show to go put an overshirt on.
I had
3,
the shirt sitting on my lap.
you host a show called Lie Detector. 4, you're just a motherfucker.
This is not lie detector. I don't care if people believe me.
I'm just saying, likely story.
Why would
It's
a ghost
1
open
a.m.
that door? Why would a ghost open that door?
Well, a ghost would not open that door because ghosts are not real. But if ghosts were real, they would open the door to make you question your own reality. Of what you're doing currently.
No, I mean, this like human existence is there to make people question their own reality. Why? And so then you die and you keep doing it. Come on.
I mean,
Be
ideally,
original at least. Be logical.
I'd like to question my reality after dying. That does sounds like something I'd be interested in. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I'd like it to.
Look at this shit.
Look at what?
Jeez.
Oh, go fuck yourself. And when you're done fucking yourself, go fuck your mother too. Looney Tunes 9000. Jesus fucking Christ.
When the show's over, look at the clock, and that'll be the time that we finish. Okay.
Exactly.
Of all people, like asking us, the 2 of us, if we're. I feel like my mom just stuck her head in the door of a sleepover and said, "Are you guys going to bed yet?" Obviously not, Mom. Could you please get out? We're reading comics.
Give me a break, Mom. What the fuck?
No ghost for super chat. Soupette chat.
I love a good old soupette chat.
That's French for super chat.
Oh, Jesus.
Actually, speaking of France, there was a cheese factory in France that exploded.
I got some snot action going on here.
Did you hear about this? This cheese factory that exploded?
No. Tell me more.
There's debris everywhere. I just want to point out that all night I have been drinking from 4 separate mugs. And anytime I drink out of one of them, I drink out of all 4 of them. Nobody said anything. None of the host, not our guest, no one in the chat. A couple of weeks ago, I was saying I was drinking from 2. Nobody noticed. And then I did 3. Tonight, I was doing 4. I sat here. I'm going to clip it. I sat here for like a minute while people were talking, drinking from 4 different mugs like a fucking octopus, and nobody said anything. Hold on a second.
I noticed it,
They did not say anything.
but I noticed it.
I'm doing this great gag. No reaction. And no one's like, why is he drinking from 4 mugs?
Well,
Matt's
first of
drinking
all,
from
you're
4
always
mugs.
drinking the fucking shit when someone else who's, let's be honest, more important is talking, right? Like, what are we
Giving
gonna
them a chance.
We're gonna
to talk
interrupt
while
them. You know, like, oh, hey, Mike, fucking 7,100 subscriber guy. Like, hey, shut the fuck up for a minute here, buddy. Look at Matthew over here drinking out of 4 cups. What are you drinking out of all? Is it the same beverage in all 4? What do we got here?
Coffee. It's a whole pot.
You're drinking fucking coffee? You're drinking a whole pot of coffee at 1 a.m.?
Yeah. I got stuff to do after this.
Oh, okay. No wonder you want to leave so early. Doing it again.
It never ends. We can talk over the intro now that's been on air a few times.
This one's really fucking loud. I can barely hear it.
And outro.